Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the son of God. To you was kind of odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about Israelites.
Okay, shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom!
Everybody online, shalom, shalom. Welcome back with another class with the Israelite School of Biblical History Practical Knowledge. If you brothers and sisters don't know by now, we have class Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7 to 10. No, Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 10, Fridays from 6 to 9, and the Sabbath morning classes. We're at 8524 South Braeswood, and she throw the address up there. If y'all want to be part of the Passover, you should know by now that you can come join us. If y'all want to donate to that, you can be part of that. The information will be on the screen, okay? And if you want to come join us in class, of course, all the information is up there also for that. So we're going to go right into questions, and then I'm going to go over this class. We're going to get questions out of the way. Probably take about an hour to go over questions, and then we're going to go over tonight's class. All right, so let's do Jeremiah. What was your question?
Edification for Proverbs chapter 13, verses 7 and 8.
13, 7, and 8. Let's go there, y'all. Proverbs 13, 7 and 8, right? Okay, go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 7. There is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches.
Right.
So my question was regarding, like, so is that basically like saying, like how Yahweh Shai said about trying to save your life and losing it?
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's. Let's go there for the people online, because sometimes they can't hear y'all. Because that's exactly what it's showing us, is that first, give me that one.
It's Matthew chapter 15 and 25.
Grab that one. Go to 16. Go to Matthew 16 and 26 first. And where was the question? Proverbs
13 and verse 7.
13 and 7. And we're going to go to Matthew 16, 26.
Matthew chapter 16 and verse 26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
So, right, what you're saying, right, what the scripture's showing us is that, yeah, it's a benefit to have money. Money's a defense. But really, what are you gaining?
Right.
Just money, carnal possessions. There's that maketh himself rich, yet have nothing. Why? Because really his spirit is lacking. Right. You know, and that's how every time you always get in these movies and rock stars and everybody want to confess after they done did all the drugs and did all the whores and all that stuff. Now they want to act like, well, you know what, life is nothing without God. Right. You know, the Most High has been said that. You know, so you got brothers, sisters that chase riches, but they don't chase the spiritual things. So, yeah, we have these things, and you know, this is a topic we always talk about. Always, you know, yes, pay your bills, do what you got to do. You can be even successful. But does that supposed to outweigh the spiritual growth? Go ahead, read. Well, let me read on. It says, there is he that maketh himself rich, yet have nothing. There is he that maketh himself poor, yet have great riches. So read it again where you're at.
Good. Matthew chapter 16 and verse 26. For what is a man profited, if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Right.
Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
Yeah, so you got all the carnal things, but you don't have the spiritual things that really build your spirit and is going to build your mind. People their mind be off, but they you know what I mean? But they got great things. They got carnal possessions. Right. They got the women they want. They got the car they want. They got the house they want. But they can't enjoy it because spiritually they're not intact. Right. So, yes, it goes back to the point of the path of Christ, what he put us on. Right. Go ahead and read that.
Proverbs.
Matthew 15 and 24?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was the one I meant. It was 16.
Oh, 16, 26? Okay. So, I want to get another one. Get this one for me. It's Ecclesiastes. I know it's there. Oh, maybe not. No, I know it's in there. Yeah, it's Ecclesiastes in the Bible. Because this is going to go right with it. 7. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 2.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 2. It is better to go to the house of the mourning.
Yeah, you see that? A lot of people don't understand that. You know what mourning is, right?
Right.
What is it?
When that's in sorrow, they have a hard time.
There you go. But some people are like, what do you mean it's better? It's better to be in that mind state. Because what happens is you remember the Most High in that time. You know, so a lot of times people think, oh yeah, you know what? Godliness is gain. You know, if I'm gaining, that's godliness. No, it's about the spirit. That's why what we try to do with our business is, if it's just about you going and making money, you're doing what the world does. It's got to be something more spiritual about it, which is, what are you gaining spiritually from it? How is this used for the knowledge of the Most High? And brothers don't understand that because they're carnal-minded. Therefore, you're not productive in any way. Go ahead.
Then to go to the house of feasting.
Right, then to go to the house of feasting. So, what is the house of feasting? Partying, having a good time. That's why it says, yet, it says, there is he that maketh himself poor. How does he make himself poor? In his mind, in his mentality. He understands how to be a base. He understands the necessity of being a base. Because when he's all happy, when everything's going good, you got a lot of people that don't appreciate what they have. You got a lot of people that don't appreciate the spiritual things. So, you know, these scriptures come to mind and remind us how we have to be. Finish that.
For that is the end of all men.
Right. Go from there, go to hold on 1 second, I want to look for this up.
Here are the top search results.
And I want to go to the one that you also brought up. 16.
Which one you got?
Matthew 16:25.
Matthew chapter 16 verse 25.
Go ahead.
I got it.
Okay. For what is a man profited? Verse 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it.
Right.
And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
Right. So, once again, what are you chasing? What are you chasing? And that's what the scripture's talking about. Is it really better to have all the carnal things? Now, like we talked about the other day, it's nothing wrong. The Most High has pleasure in the prosperity of his saints. But who could balance that out? You know, and who can really put the Most High first? That's going to be the thing that the prophets understand. Remember, because they said we have given up everything. Right? We've given up everything. So they understood all these things, they had to be put behind the will of the Most High. You finish that?
God, I was in verse 25.
Go ahead. You got something?
It's the same one, but it's in Luke 9 and 24.
Go ahead, read it. Yeah, they can add it.
Luke chapter 9 and verse 24.
Uh-huh.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it.
Right, right. So it's just showing you that it ain't all about money. It ain't all about success. If you don't have the spirit of the Most High with these things, then you're not going to really enjoy them anyway. It's not going to matter anyway. What's that?
That Ecclesiastes 31 and 8.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 31, verse 8. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish.
Right.
And have not gone after gold.
Right. Very good. That's Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, right?
Yes, sir. Chapter 31, verse 8.
Right. Read it again for them. Go
Verse
ahead.
8. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish, and have not gone after gold.
Right.
It goes down as well.
Go ahead.
Who is he? And we will call him blessed.
Right, because he's blessed with the Spirit. He's blessed with the wisdom, the knowledge, the thing that is really going to take your people to the next level. And that's what the white man knows. He knows that, like the scripture said, the Greeks seek wisdom. Yeah, they can get money, but how am I going to stretch this money? How am I going to make this money last an eternity? As opposed to us, we're not thinking like that. We're not thinking long term. Yeah, and I'm saying in turn, you know how they use the carnal. We're not thinking long term in the spirit. We're not thinking, dang, forget. It's not about the money. It's about how do I, in the spirit, have longevity. Right? Go ahead.
For wonderful things hath he done among his people.
Right. So showing you that the person that riches are going to last, he's charitable. Right? He has a character. She has a character among the people. Right? Go ahead.
Who have been tried thereby and found perfect.
Right?
Then let him glory.
And let him glory. Why? Because he's the one that really put the spirit first before his riches. He didn't put the carnal things first. Go ahead.
Who might offend and had not offended.
Right.
Or done evil and have not done it. His goods shall be established, and the congregation shall declare his alms.
Right. You see that? So that's going to make it last. You know, your righteousness is going to make your riches last. And that's what a lot of these people out there in the world, they don't understand. The wickedness is good. Because of their wickedness, their riches are not going to last. What's up, Ike?
I'm just quoting one of the scriptures that you brought out, Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 11.
Okay. Go ahead.
Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. Verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
Yeah, that's cold. That's cold. That was Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes what?
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 11 through 12.
Right. That's right on point now. That's right on point. So, this is a good question. Good question. And if y'all just tuned in, this question was in Proverbs 13 and 7. And we're just touching on a few scriptures on that. Go to 1 Timothy's. Gotta throw this in there. 1 Timothy's and 6 and 9.
Okay.
Read that.
1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 9.
Uh-huh.
But they that will be rich fall into temptation. And
Right.
they
You know what? Read it from 6.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
6 and 1 or 6 and 6?
6 and 6.
Okay. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
Right. And that's the problem, is that when you deal with the people that's strung out on money, right, they're not content. They gotta always get.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta always achieve and get more and more and more and more. And if not, they don't feel whole. They don't feel as though they've accomplished anything. Go ahead.
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
Yeah, they're not thinking like that, though. They're not thinking like, you know.
Like Job.
Yeah, they're not thinking like that. And Job was successful. But they're not thinking like a righteous man, you know, having success. They're putting their trust in their riches. So you can see why Paul had to come back and check them, check their mind. Go ahead.
And having food and raiment,
Uh-huh.
let us be therewith content.
Right. So just going back to your initial scripture, is that there's many people that got things, but look at their spirit, look at their soul. You know, so the Most High showed me, and he should have showed a lot of y'all brothers, is that it's got to be established on the Most High. If not, everything you have is going to crumble. If a man's ways ain't pleasing the Most High, it's going to crumble. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
But they that will be rich fall into temptation.
Right.
And a snare.
And a trap. Go ahead.
And into many foolish and harmful lusts.
Right.
Which drown men in destruction and perdition.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of that lust, that brothers, that desire, you know why you don't get a lot of stuff? Because it's going to be easy accessible for you to get the desires of your heart. So the Most High refrain you. He refrains you from a lot of things. He keeps you humble, man. He keeps you humble. But just going back to your scripture, there is that make it rich, himself rich, yet have nothing. He don't got his soul.
Right.
He don't got his spirit. Because all he doing is chasing after money. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
Right. Go ahead.
Which, while some coveted after,
Uh-huh.
they have erred from the faith.
Yeah, some lust after, they err from the faith. Why? Because their mind is always on the carnal things. A carnal mind can't be pleased because if you don't see those things around you, you don't see the finances, you don't see the money, you think the Lord is not with you.
Right.
And not understanding, that's not how you determine it. What you got?
Philippians chapter 4 and verse 11.
Don't let go of that Timothy's though. You said Philippians what?
4 and verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Not that I speak in respect of one,
Uh-huh.
for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. Verse
Yeah. Do you think the world is worried about they thinking like that? This is only talk lingo of a godly man. You know, we only talk like that. They're thinking like, nigga, I gotta get it. What you talking about? I gotta get paid, and then when I get paid, I gotta get paid. It's non-stop, yeah.
And it's funny you said that because when I was out there in the world, I was making money like that, and I was making like 7, 8 grand a month. And I was like, yeah, you know, everything cool. But it was always a void that was missing.
Right.
Because like you would have all the money, and then sometimes it still be like you don't have nothing to do. So you go buy yourself something trying to make you feel good, like you were saying earlier. But then I noticed I was having more of a good time like when I was abased than I did when I was abounding.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And like you say, it is humbling experience to have to go from you used to living this kind of lifestyle to being brought to this lifestyle.
Right.
But the Most High showed me He had to do that to me because, like you were saying, I was just like, oh, I was working 84 and 90 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't work that in 2 or 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Most High was like, slow down. So, and when He did that, it's like I couldn't get no work nowhere after that.
Right.
So, but to go back to what He had me doing, which was cutting hair, and now like I have more time for the things of the Most High.
Right. Yeah. Because you're making it more accessible for your spirit. And this is something that we gotta, everybody we deal with, we gotta like drain this into their brain, because a lot of Israel, they're like, well, where am I gonna get my next meal? Obviously, you're gonna work, but how do you work it where the Spirit is doing more for you? You know what I mean? Obviously, you got to pay your bills, but how you gonna get the Spirit working more for you? How you gonna put more time and more effort into the Spirit? You see that? The brothers don't get that. They're thinking like, nah, this is like part-time. The truth is part-time. So we got to make this our life and everything else part-time, yeah.
And I like, you know, the Philippians, because it talks about know how to base and abound.
Yeah.
And really what the Most High is showing us is like putting our trust in Him.
Right.
And then it's just another precept.
And isn't that Israelites' usual problem?
God.
Is that the reason why they go shoot and kill and sell crack to their mom is because they got this spirit of, damn, I'm not going to have.
Right.
Because you're not with the Most High. Right. The Most High don't leave His servants. The Most High don't leave His prophets out there. He's not going to leave you hungry. He's not going to leave you begging. See, but that's what's wrong. That's what we're trying to teach brothers in our environment. Like, listen, yeah, we got our business, but if this ain't about the Most High, it's just going to be something like the world. It gotta be us learning spiritual things, what we do, or else it's gonna be no different than the world. You go to work and what? Make money. It's gotta be different elements in the middle of that. Yeah.
Well, Joshua 1 and 8 is like a perfect example of that. That's why, like, I tell people who always be talking about success to me, and they be thinking, oh, I gotta get it,
Right.
And then I take them to Joshua 1 and 8 because it shows them that the man who want to have good success and be prosperous in this way, you're gonna always be thinking about the Most High on your forefront. You always
Right.
meditating and thinking about the Most High.
Yeah, but you know, even in that, a lot of these cats thinking like, okay, if I just say I believe in God in my head, but I go do works, I go do my own works.
Right.
You see, that's how they think. Like, all I got to do is say, Jesus, you gonna help me here with this and that and this, but it's all your stuff. Where's the work of the Most High? Where's he that save his life shall lose it? He that loses his life for my sake shall gain it. Where's that at? Right? What's up?
Just a precept with Philippians.
Go ahead.
This is Psalms chapter 34 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
It says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in Him." Because what it seems like, it's almost like everybody hears the scriptures, but a lot of times they don't even try to lean on the Most High and be like, you know what? Let me try it the Most High's way, and let me test Him to see if He comes through.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's almost like, let me see if the scriptures is real, because that's all the Most High wants us to do, is to lean upon Him rather than our own movement.
A lot of times this is like quotes. They treat it like quotes. They treat it like fortune cookie sayings, right, instead of really understand. No, it really works. You know, if you put your trust. I was counseling somebody the other day, and I was like, there's only one method, you know, and it works. You just gotta follow it. But when you're stubborn to the method, it ain't gonna work for you. Just like everything else, right? That's always the case. Go from there. Finish that up in Timothy's.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. Last precept. And pierce themselves through with many sorrows.
Right. So read 10 again.
For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith.
See, they erred from the faith. So if you're going over to the zone and your function, your mind is only on the carnal, you err from the faith. What is the spiritual man trying to teach me at the zone? Is it about the carnal? No, it cannot be. What we know it cannot be because it don't last. Brothers get caught up so much into the carnal, they lose focus on what they supposed to be gaining. But they don't do it just with, our business aspect. That's what people, brothers and sisters, do in the world. You get lost in a job. We talked about that the other day. And they get pierced in the heart, and then all those sorrows come forward. Why? Because you're carnal minded. Go ahead.
And pierce themselves through with many sorrows.
Yeah, but there's no reason or no why you should be sad or sorrowful when you got the knowledge.
Come on.
You're supposed to, it says wisdom, the breath, it says understandeth all things. So you comprehend why things, the Most High is doing things in your life, why you're doing things in your life. They're not getting that. Go to, I just had it. Damn. Hold on 1 second. I want this one. Hold on 1 second. Oh, there it is. 8 and 18. Proverbs 8 and 18.
Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 18. Riches and honor are with me. Yeah. Durable riches.
Yeah, see, that's the part I wanted. Durable riches. So right back to your question, and that scripture you was talking about, Proverbs 13 and 7, is that, yeah, you got to understand what durable riches are. Yeah, riches that last. Generations and generations, right? Well, we know it ain't based on their carnality, because the riches of this world is going to pass away. So, what are you investing in? Everything right now is really temporary. And I'm not saying you go spend it like it's temporary. Like Drake said, you got no reason to preservation of money. You know what I mean? He's like, you want to spend. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, this is not our kingdom. So, why are you trying to build and only focus on the carnal? You're supposed to be building the spirit, and then all these carnal things are going to follow. But is it wrong to have your kids in college? No, it's not wrong. Is it wrong to have money? No, it's not. It's not. But at what expense? See, your calling is not their calling. Your calling is different. Remember what the apostle said. We have given up all. So we got to think about this durable riches. Go ahead.
And righteousness.
Right. Durable riches. It says, yea, durable riches and righteousness. Go ahead.
My fruit is better than gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Than fine gold. And my revenue than choice silver.
Read.
I lead in the way of righteousness. In the midst of the path of judgment.
Right.
That I may cause those that love me to inherit. See,
that's going back to his question in Proverbs 13 and 7. It says, there is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is he that maketh himself poor. Why? Because he brought himself low. Right? He put himself in a situation to gain wisdom and understanding. And that's what built him. That's what builded him, his household, his family. That's what's going to last. Your brain is going to last. You want your brain to last you longer than any damn thing. You can have riches and have dementia. You got nothing. You can have riches and your body be broke down. You got nothing. It don't last. So, you know, then you go to Ecclesiasticus 6. I mean, we can go all the way with this question, but that's a good one right there, man. You go to Ecclesiasticus 6, it tells you you got to put yourself in her bonds.
Fetters.
Yeah, in her fetters. So that's what it means. You make yourself of a poor, low estate, but that's going to bring and yield greatness from you. All right, so the next one was, what was yours, sis?
Oh, I asked, will the world know the truth before Christ comes back?
Yeah. Read. Where is that at in Matthews? She asked, will the world... Go to Mark 16 and 15. Will the world know? Will everybody know the truth? Yeah, everybody's going to hear the truth. Mark 16 verse 15.
Mark chapter 16 verse 15. And he said unto me, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature.
Right.
He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved.
Right. So everybody has to hear this word. Everybody is going to hear this word. Everybody's going to be accountable. Mark 13 and 10.
Mark chapter 13, verse 10. And the gospel must first be published among all nations. Verse 11.
Y'all see that? The gospel is going to be published amongst all nations. Everybody was going to hear it. The nations, listen, it's already happening. The nations are accountable. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit in tonight's class. The nations have been accountable. That's what people are trying to, their timeline on the nations having the knowledge, they trying to make it like it starts when they get the knowledge.
Right.
They've have had a chance. We're going to go into that tonight, though. Yeah.
I got Colossians chapter 1 and 6.
Okay, is it on point?
I'm going to start at verse 5.
Go ahead.
What was that scripture that you just read?
It was Mark chapter 13, verse 10.
Mark 13 and 10. What was the one before that?
Mark chapter 15 and verse
16, 15.
Mark 16, 15.
Okay.
And then where you going?
Colossians chapter 1, verse 5 and 6.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. For the hope which is laid up for you in heaven, whereof ye heard before in the word of the truth of the gospel, which is come unto you, as it is in all the world, and bringeth forth fruit, as it doth also in you, since the day ye heard of it, and knew the grace of God in truth.
That's a little more specific to what the functioning is supposed to happen in us.
Okay.
She wants to know, will the world hear it?
About verse 23.
Huh?
Verse 23, same chapter. It said it was preached to every creature.
Yeah.
Colossians chapter 1, verse 23. If ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel, which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I, Paul, am made a minister.
Right. So, yeah, you got that, sis? Does that help out? Okay. All right. And you had some questions, huh?
Yes, sir.
What you got?
chapter 3.
3 and what?
I have 7 and 8, and then 19 to 31.
Go ahead.
Romans chapter 3 and verse 7.
Uh-huh.
For if the truth of God hath more abundant through my life.
Abundant or abounded?
Abounded.
Uh-huh.
Abounded through my life unto his glory. Why yet am I also...
Okay, let's... when you start with Paul talking, if you don't start up, you're going to get confused. So read Romans 3 and 1.
Romans chapter 3 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
What advantage then had the Jew?
Right.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Right. And so he's asking us a question. You know, because if you read or you listen to what he's writing, sometimes you get confused and think he's saying that there's no benefit in being a Jew. He's checking them and reminding them, yes, there is a benefit, and what advantage has the Jew? Much in every way, right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
Right. So he's not disannulling the purpose of you being called or your service, your duty.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
Verse 3. For what if some did not believe?
Right.
Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Right. And so what if some didn't believe that? Is that going to affect the purpose of the Most High? Israelites being lifted up, the covenants and contracts and laws and duty and service being done through the Israelites? Will that do away with the Most High's purpose because they don't believe that? Most High forbid. Go ahead.
God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar.
Right, because what he's saying there is, I've already said what was going to happen. Another point about today's topic. He's already promised certain things that you can't just disannul. Okay? So they have to have effect, or God is a lie. The written word has to go forth like he said, or then you could say, oh, he's lying. Go ahead.
As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings.
Right, meaning that how else are you going to be justified? Right. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Through his sayings, you're going to be able to say, no, this is what the scriptures say. Go ahead.
And mightest overcome when thou art judged.
Go ahead.
But if our unrighteousness commend the righteousness of God,
right,
what shall we say? Is God unrighteousness who taketh vengeance? I speak as a man.
Right.
God forbid.
Go ahead.
For then how shall God judge the world?
Right. So, read, what verse was that?
Verse 7.
Read it again.
For if the truth of God hath more abounded through my lie unto his glory.
Right. So, you're saying that I'm lying? You're saying that I'm lying to you. That what I'm speaking is a lie. And the Most High word is abounding or working in a lie. Go ahead.
Why yet am I also judged as a sinner? And not rather as we be slanderously reported.
Right. So what is he saying? Basically, you're saying you're lying on it. You're slandering me. You understand? Because if you're saying I'm speaking lies to teach the truth, that's a slander. You're lying on me. See that? Go ahead.
And as some affirm that we say, let us do evil, that good may come.
Right. So that's what they're saying about him. They're saying that he's saying, because they didn't understand Paul. So he's saying, you're trying to say that I'm saying do evil and that's going to bring good. That's not what I'm saying. Basically, they didn't understand Paul's writings. So he would always, he's coming back and having to now combat that. Like, I'm not saying this. I'm not speaking a lie. They didn't understand what he was saying. Go ahead.
Let us do evil that good may come.
Yeah, that you know, in there saying, whether they were saying he's breaking the law, whether they were saying that about teaching the nations, right? He was cutting that up, saying, wait a minute, I'm not, who the hell do you think I am?
Come.
I'm of the Most High, and when I'm speaking, it's of the oracles of the Most High, right?
Come.
Go ahead.
Whose damnation is just.
Right.
What then? Are we better than they?
Uh-huh.
No, in no wise.
Uh-huh.
For we have before proved both Jews and Gentiles that they are all under sin.
Right. So verse
Question.
yeah.
So he's saying, okay, so they didn't understand his writing, so
Right.
uh-huh. They didn't understand his writings, so they thought that he was, like what he was telling them was against the word. So that's why
Yeah, obviously they were saying he was against the word.
So that's why they were slandering him.
That's why they were slandering
But
him.
he was saying that why is it abounding if it's against the word? Then why is the Most High making it abound? Pretty much.
Right. What verse are you talking about?
Verse 7. For the truth of God hath more abounded.
Right. Verse 7. I'm going to read it here to show you, just to reword it a little bit so you can understand. It said, but if through my falsehood God's truthfulness abounds to his glory, why am I still being condemned as a sinner? So basically, if you're saying I'm teaching a lie, why is this happening? Why is the truth working? Right? Why am I still being condemned as a sinner? You see that? Why are y'all condemning me? Why are y'all coming up against me when you see the work of the Most High happening?
Okay. And then verse 8. Okay.
Verse 8. And why not say, as some people slander, and why not say, as some people slander us, by saying that we say, let us do evil so that good may come, their condemnation is deserved. So he's just checking. He's saying you said, I said that I'm doing wickedness or evil that good may come. That's a slander. That's a lie. Yeah.
But isn't it because they just didn't believe?
Some of them didn't believe, but some of them didn't understand.
Okay.
They didn't understand what Paul was saying. Like a lot of his writings were so. It was where Christ left off. Paul picked up on. When he left off on the Spirit, like when you read Matthew's the 5th chapter, about just how we were going over the law, right? The law said eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, right? Well, Christ came back and literally said, but I say you resist not evil. So it's like, well, you're changing that. You're changing what it says. No, I'm not changing it. What I'm doing is giving you the deeper understanding. I'm giving you the edification of what it was really supposed to be. So Paul, when you read his writings, Matthew 5, you see he picks up from that mind state of what Christ was speaking from, right? That if you commit adultery, if a man lusts after a woman in his heart, he committed adultery. He was moving past the carnality of the law and moving into the spiritual and the conscious. Paul was hitting that a lot, and when he was doing it, they were like, they just didn't get it. They just didn't understand it. They were like, what the? So you're saying now I don't need to circumcise? So you're saying now I don't need the law? And that's why he had to come back and reiterate. Like even in this 3rd chapter, he reiterates. Like if you start from 1 all the way down, he comes in the 31st verse. Do we make void the law through faith? Why does he say that? Because if you look at what he's saying, it sounds like he's saying the law's done away with. But he's showing them that, and I'm not saying that. You niggas are ignorant. Right. You're not understanding. I'm not saying the law's done away with. What I'm trying to show y'all is the spirituality of the law. And that's what he was doing, and they weren't getting it. Yeah.
It's almost like, because even with Paul, he was going to a lot of different institutions, dealing with a lot of high-minded individuals of learning intellect. but it's almost like he was provoking thought on the situation at hand.
Yeah, he was. Listen, he was provoking thought, but he was in the spirit. Paul was in the spirit on what he was writing because it was right along with Christ, what he was teaching. That he was moving past the carnal things that how they seen the law and showing them about how to be spiritual minded. That's what it was about. What's up, sis?
Well, I was just going to say that Jesus, Yahushua is the one that went head to head with the Sadducees and the Pharisees.
Right.
So the mind state was that they knew the law, but they didn't exercise the law spiritually.
Right.
So they were literally robots. They were literally just kind of following what they saw these holy men, quote unquote,
do. Right.
So
and
they were carnal minded.
They were carnal minded. And why were they carnal? Because they were never looking past the actual physical things that needed to be done and look at the reasoning of why they needed to be done and the consciousness of why they needed to be done. Yeah.
So when Paul came, this was like just a perpetuation of the generations before. Did Paul ever have to go head to head with he never went head to head with the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He just
he did.
Did he?
He was going through ahead with them right now.
Always.
Every letter he wrote was going ahead with the Pharisees and Sadducees, because a lot of these other brothers were Pharisees, and he was checking that mind state. He was checking that mind state because he knew about the spirit, and he knew about how Israel was hypocritical. Yeah. You get that? Yeah, he knew they were hypocritical. Like, he said, that's why he came back in here and says, thou sayest you're a Jew and rest in the law, but how is that when you break the law?
Right.
That was the Pharisee mind state.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That was like this perpetuation of them seeing what the Pharisees, the priests were like. They were being hypocrites because they knew the law,
but there was brothers among them too.
Okay.
There was these brothers among them. It's like Israel today.
Okay.
Like, they go gung-ho for the law but break the law.
Right.
And not even judge right according to the law. They're not judging like Christ would judge. It's not that balance there. So Paul was always trying to show them that y'all are being hypocritical. He was checking two sides. He was checking that Christian mind state, and he was checking that Pharisee mind state. And that's what he did all the time. He's not saying I'm not saying I did away with the law. The law's done away with. But at the same time, y'all don't understand the law. The law is spiritual. Right? That's Romans 7. But he starts from, when you read, he starts from the 3rd chapter. This is when he starts going in on them. Or the 2nd. I think he starts from the 2nd. He starts speaking about these different things. What other verse you were talking about,
Verse 19 to 31.
19 to 31. Go ahead.
Verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Now we know that what things soever the law said,
Uh-huh.
it said to them who are under the law,
Right.
that every mouth may be stopped.
Right. So I'm talking to y'all about the law, and this is for y'all that practice the law. Right? Go ahead.
And all the world may become guilty before Yahweh.
Right, because everybody is guilty, because all have sinned. They've broken the law. Go ahead.
Therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in his sight.
Right, because he's showing us that if all have sinned and all have fallen short, right? And if you break one of the laws, you break them all. So how are you justifying yourself? What is your justification? Through the faith, through believing. See, but now let's go back. A lot of people do what? Oh, I wear my fringes. I got my beard. I'm yelling. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm keeping the Sabbath. They can break all the other laws. As long as they keep the Sabbath, they feel like they're what? A pure Hebrew Israelite. Because that's what Paul was saying, was like, wait a minute. How are you justifying yourself? You can look in the mirror and say, just because you keep the Sabbath, you're right. Nah, look at how many other laws you're breaking. And he was checking that Pharisee mind state. What's up?
It's basically being righteous through faith. As in, you saying that righteous man in having faith?
Yeah, you're in the faith. See, the faith is mingled with the law. See, our faith is supposed to be mingled with the law, knowing that we're not justified by the law. Like, I can't say, well, you know what? I did all the 10 commandments this week. I'm good. I did all, because there's somewhere in the law that I broke, that I didn't know, unknowingly, right? So if you're trying to justify yourself that way, you can't justify yourself. It's not possible. Because if you break one, you break them all. That's the law. You see that? Go ahead.
For by the law is the knowledge of sin.
Right, so why is the law then? The knowledge of sin. So you know what not to do. Right? So you know, okay, eating pork is wrong. Well, you need the law to know that it's wrong. Right? So that's why the law is there. Like he said in Romans 7, I had not known sin unless thou hast said, thou shalt not lust. Right? I would have not known to covet unless you told me, don't covet. Right? So the law gives us the knowledge of sin. What verse are you at?
I was in verse 20.
Right. So the law is there to give us the knowledge of sin. So we can stop sinning. So once again, you're attacking two mentalities here. You're attacking that Christian mentality that says what? We don't have to keep the law. Right? Because you're destroying that. Because Paul is showing us we gotta have the knowledge of sin. The law is for the knowledge of sin. But it's also attacking the Hebrew Israelite super gangster disciple crip walking for Christ mind state. Because a lot of brothers thinking, oh, because I celebrate and I don't microwave my food on the Sabbath, I'm more holier than thou. No, that's not how it works. Right? You have to have faith mingled with the law to understand. Because if not, you're just justifying yourself by the law. And nobody can be justified by the law. Y'all get that? Go ahead.
Verse 21. But now the righteousness of God without the law is manifested.
Right. With the righteousness without the law. Why? Because if your determination was through the letter of the law, let me show you something how you can be righteous without the letter of the law. You understand that? Go ahead.
Being witnessed by the law and the prophets.
See, where was the witness at? Meaning, Abraham was righteous. Did he have the law?
God.
No, he didn't have the law. He didn't have the written law, but did he have the law? Yeah. He had the law written in his inward heart. So, righteousness was unto the law? You see that? Was sin unto the law? Nah. They were sinning back then. They were sinning back then, and they were righteous back then. Right? Why did the whole world die? Because they were sinners, right? So, what he's showing us that it is possible that the law reigning in us, having the faith of the Most High, it will lead us to righteousness. You understand that? It's possible, and it happened without the letter of the law. You see that? It already happened. If you're going to say, well, that's not right. Well, it happened. Abraham did it. He was righteous without the written law. Right? So this is what he's showing them, that the law has to be in us. The faith has to be in us, and the belief has to be in us to follow and be spiritual. You see that? Do y'all? I mean, I could go to a lot of scriptures, but every time I start going to a lot of scriptures, it gets more, y'all get more damn confused. So I'm just trying to go with what he's writing. Go ahead.
Verse 22.
Uh-huh.
Even the righteousness of God,
Uh-huh.
which is by faith of Yahweh Shai.
Right, you see that? So he says, but now the righteousness of God without the law is manifest, being witnessed by the law and the prophets. It's manifest because the prophets showed you what it was to be righteous without the law. Elisha was right. Right? I mean, excuse me, with the law. Right? They were right with the laws. Right? But then you go further back. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they were righteous too. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 22.
Uh-huh.
Even the righteousness of God, which is by faith.
Right. See, and that's where Abraham, why he was the forerunner of that. Because he had faith, he believed, he followed. Right? Go ahead.
Of Yahweh Shai unto all, and upon all them that believe.
Uh-huh.
For there is no difference.
Go ahead.
For all have sinned.
Uh-huh.
And come short of the glory of Yahweh.
Right. So what verse did you want to go to? All the way down?
Go ahead.
Right. So all have sinned. So you see that? No one of us can say, well, I kept the law. You know, ergo, the guy that ran up to Christ and said, what? I kept the law from my youth up. He said, okay, now I'm going to show him how to go beyond that. Right, so you followed this letter, but all you did was follow the letter. You weren't even spiritual. You were just a robot. So now go sell everything you have and come follow me. If he followed the law, why didn't the law instill in him the spirituality and charity? You followed the law because he followed the law carnally. He wasn't spiritual. Yeah.
And then that verse 22, is that the same as kind of basically like what the word we talking about now, like giving salvation unto the Gentiles then?
Even the righteousness. Yeah, but we'll talk about that. This is what they try to use, you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, they try to use that. But we're not on that right now. We know how they try to use it, but this is the understanding of what he's talking about. It ain't got nothing to do with what they're thinking. This is talking about us and how the law is performed in us being spiritual, right? By having faith, but by going deeper than just the letter. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually jump to verse 24, 25, and 26, I understand.
Okay.
27.
Just read it, Fine. Go ahead.
24. Being justified freely by his grace.
Right.
Through the redemption that is in Yahweh Shai.
Right.
Whom God has set forth to be a propitiation through faith in his blood.
Right. So through Christ, him dying, him being the example, right? He's given us grace, right? But he's also showed us faith. Go ahead.
To declare his righteousness for the remission of sins that are past.
Right.
Through the forbearance of Yahweh.
Right. So the Most High sent him to forbear your sins because you were wicked. Right? So he shows the patience through sending Christ again, being the ultimate sacrifice, right? Of the Most High. Patience of the Most High. Go ahead.
To declare, I say, at this time his righteousness.
Go ahead.
That he might be just.
And
the justifier of him which believeth in Yahweh Shai.
Right. So that he might be just. That the Most High might be just. Right? David said, my sins were ever before you. And you only have I sinned. Unto you only have I sinned. Right? Because to show that the Most High is just. Right? So this is what Christ, Yahweh Shai, was sent for. To show that the Most High is just. He's going to have mercy on you. He's going to give grace. He's going to give forbearance. And to show that Yahweh Shai was just. Because he went in and he went through the path. Go ahead.
Where is boasting then?
It
is excluded.
Right. So what are you trying to boast in? Because everything that was given to you was given through you through Yahweh Shai. Like, why are you trying to run around and be like, well, you know what? Like, you made you. You didn't make you. What made you was the grace, the faith. Why you're living and breathing is Yahweh Shai. it wasn't the law, because the law condemned you. You see that? The law condemned you. You broke it, you were supposed to be put to death. So once again, he's checking that Pharisee mind state that only has their righteousness, which is by the law, not by Christ, not by the Most High, not through faith. Go ahead.
By what law? More words.
You see that? By what law? You boasting by what law? What law did you supposedly keep? Yeah, you kept that, but you messed up here, there, there, and there. And who was there when you messed up? Yahushua, his blood. So where are you boasting at? You can't boast. You can only say, Thawadi Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua, thank the Most High for sending His Son Christ, because if not, we'd be wiped the hell off this earth. Right? Go ahead.
Of works? Nay.
Then he said of works? Of the law? Of works? Nay, like what you did. What things you got on your calendar that you did so great and you were so perfected in? Nothing. Go ahead.
Nay, but by the law of faith.
Go ahead.
Therefore we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law.
Right. So how are you justified? Through faith. Right? Without the deeds of the law. What? But you see why I'm saying that they didn't understand him? Because the Christians read that and say, oh, see, we don't have to keep the law. But as we read down, he checks that mind and says, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm checking is the mind state of the Pharisees that are trying to only say they're justified through the law. They're justified through the law and through the faith in Christ. You see that? Because the law, you got to think about it. I believe in God, but I'm a murderer. Right. You're not making any sense. Yeah. You got to have but you see how he spoke? See, when he said that there, that's like, if you don't understand all his writings or the scriptures, you'll be like, see, he's saying right there, you don't need to keep the law. Right. He's not saying that. Go ahead. What?
I was going to ask, like what it says, faith without the deeds of the law, right? Well, verse 20, I'll read it again.
Therefore we conclude that a man is justified by faith.
Right. So, and ultimately, what is the Most High going to be looking at when he comes back?
Isn't it it's your faith through the works that you've done?
Yeah. What?
Your intentions.
He's going to be looking at your intentions. Because you believed, and therefore you kept the law, right? You keep the laws, but then you fall short, right? You're going to mess up. So what do you need in there so you won't be destroyed?
Grace.
You need grace. And who gives the grace?
Yahushua.
The Most High, Bahasham Yahushua, in the name of Christ, right? You got the grace. So that's what he's saying there. Because in reality, when he come back, are you going to have done all the law in perfection? So when he's going to look at it and say, okay, what did you do and how did you do it? We know the ones that straight reject the law. He says, if you reject the law, I'm going to make you the least. You're going to be destroyed. Right? But Christ said, they that teach men and do so shall be the greatest in the kingdom of the Most High. Right? Why? Because we know the law is spiritual. Right? So he wasn't saying that you didn't have to do it. He was saying that as you're trying and keeping the faith, we know that it was the only thing that Christ is going to be able to look at and say, he tried. He followed the law as best of his ability. Right? He strove for perfection. Right? Not, oh, he threw the law away and he said, I don't need to keep the law. And now he's a homosexual. Now he's a drug dealer. Now he's a murderer. Now he's an adulterer. And because he's supposedly justified through grace. That's book BS. That's not what Paul is saying. He's saying when it all comes down to it, I'm going to look at your spirit and if you believed. What's up?
Awesome. other scripture that says faith without
works is dead. There you go.
So, but then this one says faith without the deeds of the law. I mean, it says, therefore we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law.
Right.
So, when it says faith without works is dead, it's not talking about the works of the law per se. It's talking about...
No, see, he's talking about here, Paul is talking about showing you that if you're trying to justify yourself by the law alone, you are not justified. James come back and reiterates, same thing Paul says, which is faith without works is dead, meaning that you're going to see the righteousness by this man trying to do the works. But this individual that's justified only by the works of the law, you can't justify yourself by only the works of the law. Then why would Christ need to come? That's what he goes on and says in the other chapter. If it was through the law, then why would Christ need to have come and die for us? You could have kept the law and then been good. Right?
If it was like that. But
if it was like that. If that was the case, you didn't need Christ. Right. So Paul is checking the ones that are trying to justify themselves only by the law. How do we know? Watch, read on. He's going to tell us.
Verse 29. Is he the God of the Jews only?
Right.
Is he not also of the Gentiles?
Go ahead.
Yes, of the Gentiles also. Seeing it is one God, which shall justify the circumcision by faith.
Right.
And uncircumcision through faith.
Right.
Do we then make void the law through faith?
Go ahead.
God forbid. Yea, we establish the law.
That's why you got to read the whole thing, because now you get what he's saying at the end. He's not saying the law's done away with. He's not saying the law's not needed. What he's checking them on is, if you're trying to justify yourself in the law only, you're not justified. Why? Because if you break one, you break them all. Yeah.
And so this, so I'm clear. So if you break one, you break them all. Then you really don't have faith, because you're hanging that on the fact that you think you're following.
There you go.
The law.
Yeah, it is no longer of faith. He says that too. It is no longer of faith. Why? Because I checked my checklist. I kept this law, this law, this law. Well, then it's not on the faith of Christ then. It's not on that Christ gave me mercy, right? It's on, oh, I did the law. It's a mingling of these two, right? It's a mingling of Christ, believing in Christ that he gave you grace. And that's why you're going to keep trying and striving for perfection and righteousness. Yeah.
And also, if we were just doing the law and we feel like we should get in because we did the law,
there you go.
Then that's saying that Most High, you owe us. You're supposed to let us in.
Right. And it wasn't by your what did he say? Verse 25.
Whom God has set forth to be a propitiation through faith in his blood.
Right. Christ. He was the propitiation, the one that brought us back to the Most High. So if it was by our own works through the law, you wouldn't need the propitiation. You wouldn't need the blood. Go ahead.
To declare his righteousness for the remission of sins that are past.
Go ahead.
Through the forbearance.
Through the what?
Forbearance.
And then you're trying to say that the Most High didn't forbear you. He didn't give you. He didn't have patience and love for you. He didn't give you grace. You're saying you did it where? On your own. You did it on. Yeah, you're self-made. I didn't need the Most High. I didn't need Yahweh Shai. I got the law. What?
It's almost like that's a what's the word? Not mediocre, but it's almost like an easy way to obtain what the prize is. Because it's easy to go through, the carnality of following these rules and regulations. But now you literally have to understand, change your mind frame rather than just your body. It's easy just to hit this and do that. But now it's your mind that the Most High is evolving.
Right. That's why when you read, you just keep reading through 4. He shows you and edifies you what he's talking about the faith. He goes to Abraham. And that goes to James. See, that links up with James when James was saying faith without works is dead. The Romans 4 comes and shows you the same thing. I'm going to show you the father of faith and how the law was working in him without it being written, but through the obedience of faith. Right?
Time.
Then he comes in the 5th chapter. He comes in the 5th chapter. Right? And then he starts showing the ones that were working in faith. Then he comes in the 6th chapter and he comes back and he says, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? So now he's talking about the grace in the 6th chapter. Right? And showing you how the grace was implemented. And so all these themes, it couldn't just be combined in one chapter, in one letter. You got to read them in their sequence, because then you're really going to understand him. Because if not, you just take, you do like the Christians do, take one part and then be like, see, we don't have to do this. Yeah, well, go and keep reading so you can understand what the hell he's saying.
Right.
And then when you go into 7, he really kills it. See, 7 is one of my favorite chapters because he sums it all up in the 7th chapter. Right? So, I did this before also. I read straight through going over the whole theme. What's that?
I was going to ask, is that why the churches, like, for instance, like, I don't know any other religion but Jehovah's Witness, but the Catholic Church, isn't that why they do the go in the box and confession?
The confession? Yeah.
And then do the
upside down cross?
The alms and stuff, like, or not the alms.
I'm not really familiar with the Catholic. I wasn't a. Last time I was a Catholic, I think I was like 4.
Right. But don't they say if you like do that, you're forgiven of your sins? If you go
Yeah.
ahead and you do your confession,
Yeah.
you give the money.
They get that confess your faults and your sins shall be forgiven.
Okay. So you
right.
You don't have to. You don't have to have faith, because all you have to
do is confess. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
then
That's another way of voiding it out. Yeah.
Okay.
If they teach it like that, I'm not sure. All right. Did that clarify that for you, Al?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's up?
I got 2 more.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's Acts chapter 13, verse 35 and 37.
Uh-huh.
And it says, wherefore he said also in another song,
right,
thou shalt not suffer thine Holy One to see corruption.
Right.
For David, after he had served his own generation by the will of Yahweh, fell on sleep, and was laid unto his fathers, and saw corruption.
Right.
But he...
Death. So David died, but this psalm that he prayed, right, was in the spirit talking about Yahweh Shai. Okay? So he saw the corruption because he died. That was it?
So the corruption is just
death. It's just death.
Okay.
Yeah, because David is named amongst the men of the holy men. So yeah, it's just talking about death.
Okay, so because Christ rose back up.
Christ rose back up, right. So he didn't see corruption. His body didn't decay. Right.
Okay. Alright. Acts chapter 14, verse 12.
Acts 14 and 12, let's go.
And they called Barnabas Jupiter and Paul Mercurius, because he was a chief speaker.
Because they were idolatrous. It was an idolatrous city they went in, and they spoke like gods. So when they seen them, they were like, wait a minute, man, these guys must be Jupiter and what is it?
Mercurius.
And Mercurius, yeah.
So I was going to ask, like, they knew about the planets back then and all that?
Remember all that stuff started from Babylonian customs. So remember, they worshipped the sun, the moon, the stars, and all those things. Yeah.
So the only reason I ask is because you can't see without a telescope. You can't see it. According to them, you can't see.
Well, they named the stars that. When you look up, if you go to all right, you do a search on planet, right, in your like Bible app, right, planets, right. I was going over this with Yeshaya because he was going into showing me that that there's no such thing as planets, and I was like, well, I think that's it. Go there.
2 Kings chapter 23, verse 5.
Because there's only one, right?
God. So
23 and 5. Read that.
Verse 5. And he put down the idolatrous priests,
right,
whom the kings of Judah had ordained to burn incense in the high places in the cities of Judah,
right,
and in the places round about Jerusalem, them also that burned incense unto Baal,
right,
to the sun.
Right. See, so now you're talking about they worship the sun, the moon, and the stars. Go ahead.
And to the moon. And to the planets.
Right. So planets, when you look up that word, it says, whoa. Oh, Siri. Illuminati trying to listen to us. Matazal. Tazal. Matazala. Which it says a constellation. So that word planet should have been correctly translated constellation. You see that? So they were worshiping the constellations. They were worshiping the stars. Because like you said, how could they see without a telescope? How could you see without a telescope Jupiter and Mars or whatever what is it?
Yeah,
you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You see that? So what it is, it says here, this is zodiac sign. So they were worshiping constellations because that worship of their zodiac comes from Babylonian customs. They ain't got nothing to do with the Most High. That's why I was very clear when you go over that in Genesis. See, when they're worshiping the sun, the moon, the stars, they were bowing down to them. You see that? And worshiping them as gods. All right? So, you get that, right? All right. All right, we got one online?
I have a question.
Yeah.
2 Samuel 3 and 3.
2 Samuel 3 and 3. Y'all said we had one online too?
Yes, sir.
2 Samuel 3 and 3.
It's naming
2 Samuel.
his family, King David's family. And in 3, it names Abigail, wife of Nabal. But in 1 Samuel, Nabal dies and she marries David. So why do they still refer to her as wife of Nabal?
Oh, that's just because it's saying wife of Nabal because for you to reference what woman that was.
Okay.
Yeah, so for you to reference the situation that happened, Nabal died and David ended up taking her. Yeah.
It's like it says the same thing with Uriah's.
Yeah,
Solomon's mom.
Right. It reminds you of, okay, remember this person? Okay, that's who this is. Yeah. All right, so what do we got online? Because I want to go over this class. This is going to be the last one. I want to go over this class because everybody keeps asking this, and I want to just get it out of the way. And that way we can have a full set class for all the people that call in or get on Facebook and all that stuff. We're going to just kill it with one class. So what is this question?
Multi-Pink Ranger says, peace, my brothers. The topic of Gentiles will be saved. Like last week's verse, Revelation 7, verse 8 through 10. If
Right.
we already talked about this, it's okay.
We're going to go through this class. It's the class. It's not really a question.
Oh, what's the question?
It's the title. It's the title of the class I got on.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna go over these scriptures. So let's start out. And I titled the class, "The Gentiles Will Be Saved for Destruction." So the Gentiles are gonna be saved for destruction.
26 people.
Why? Because the problem is that, and like I said, I wanted to go over a full class and for everybody to get understanding why. And there's certain things, man, and promises that the Most High made. And I don't care what you're dealing with. You have to understand the Bible as that. The Most High wrote, he made a contract. He made promises. You understand? To Israel, what happened in the future. You can't just disannul those things. Okay? Because you're not God.
Right.
And that's why it says, let God be true and every man a lie. So go to Zechariah 7 verse 9. 2 verse 7. Zechariah 2 verse 7 real quick.
Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 7.
Zechariah 2 verse 7. Let's get into this topic. Let's go ahead.
Zechariah chapter 2 verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
Right. So deliver thyself, O Zion. The children of Israel dwell where?
With the daughter of Babylon.
Yeah, and when you go into Psalms 137, it tells you that Esau is the daughter of Babylon. So the children of Israel dwell in the middle of Babylon. So that's why when you deal with these names, you know how they say the names are different? Yeah, this movie is made, but the names are different and the people are different. But that's how it is, man. We're the same people, but we've been scattered, calling ourselves Negroes, Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans and Haitians, and we're in the middle of Babylon. Not the Babylon of the ancient Babylon, the new Babylon, America, the great melting pot. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 8. But thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you.
The nations did what?
Which spoiled you.
The nations did what?
Spoiled you.
The nations spoiled us, man. The nations robbed. The nations robbed, murdered, lied, pillaged us. Right? They took our identity. They took our nationality. They took your history. You got to think about it, man. So when we deal with this, like I said, I'm getting sick and tired of this question. Like, what's going to happen to the nations? What happened to the Israelites?
Right.
Same thing. The Most High is not a respecter of persons. But he does love Israel above all nations. You understand? Go ahead, read that.
For he that toucheth you.
He that touches you, go ahead.
Toucheth the apple of his eye.
They're the what?
Toucheth the apple of his eye.
Israel's the what?
Apple of his eye.
Touching his thing, man. You've touched his nation. You know, when you meet that woman, you like, boy, look at, oh, that's my girl. You're like, whew. You know, every time you see her, you smile. Why? Because brothers are like, I don't know. I don't know about that. Well, it's happened. It's happened to you sometime. When you get that one woman, yeah, time pass, you get that. You get that woman, you're like, dang, that's my girl, right? Well, that's Israel. The Most High said, Israelites are the apple of his eye. His chosen, his loved, right? His beloved, right? And this is what the nations don't understand. The Gentiles don't understand. You don't just get to do in his nation. He said his wife. That's his woman. You don't just get to abuse and beat down and lie and whoop and destroy his beloved, and then now you get a pass to sit down with them in the kingdom?
Right.
Y'all not understanding this, man. This is bigger. This is bigger than Nino Brown. Yeah. Read that part again.
Verse 8. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
You hear what he's saying? It's like, it's just like that movie Taken.
Oh, yeah, right.
I have certain skills. The Most High, he's reminding them. And that's what these people don't realize. They're like, you want to void out everything. And we're going to go to the old and the new too. You want to void out every promise the Most High had made? You're not looking at the scriptures and saying, wait a minute, the Gentiles, according to what Christ said, that was prophesied, how could they sit down and just enjoy all the things and they got everything? I know y'all saying, wait a minute, man, white man's in the ghettos and slums just like us. That's their fault. Don't you know that's their fault? That their kingdom, go back to the historical kingdoms of the past. Go back to the Babylonians and the Assyrians. Their nation was living it up. Yeah, their nations was living it up. But the thing is that we don't want to recognize that this nation's been blessed and they just cut out their people. That's why they're in the ghettos and the slums. Crack wasn't meant for the white man. AIDS wasn't meant for the white man. Syphilis wasn't meant for the white man. Gonorrhea Bloods and Crips wasn't meant for the white man. Right. That was meant for you. You understand that? So you're getting it way twisted to not understand why the Most High is going to do in this nation and all the other nations. So this is not, listen, this is not just the white man. He's the forerunner. We're talking about all nations. Okay? So finish that. Read on.
Verse 9. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them.
I will do what?
Shake my hand upon them.
He wasn't talking about shaking hands. He's talking about destruction. Now this is a promise. You understand? These are promises. That hasn't happened. Go ahead.
And they shall be a spoil to their servants.
Go ahead.
And ye shall know that the Lord of hosts has sent me.
Right. Go from there. Go to just another one I wanted to get real quick. I want y'all to add to this one. Deuteronomy 32 and 10. See? Deuteronomy 32 and 10. Read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 10. Verse 10. He found him in a desert land.
Right. He found who? Israel. He found Israel in a desert land. Go ahead.
And in the waste, howling wilderness.
Go ahead.
He led him about.
Go ahead.
He instructed him.
Go ahead.
He kept him as the apple of his eye.
Israelites are the apple of his eye. You understand that? So he said he's going to shake his hand on these nations, man. He's going to shake his hand on these nations because what they did to the Israelites.
Like shaking his hand like this?
like shaking his hand exactly like that. Backslapping. Go to Zechariah 1, verse 15. Now, why though? A lot of people, well, why?
Right.
Well, because the nation did something that he didn't want them to do. The Most High wanted us to go in slavery. I know it's our fault. He was whooping us with the nations. But let's find something out. Let's get a little note in here. Because any Israelite would say, yeah, the Most High used the nations to destroy us. Come on. But let's give you the contract the Most High, what he had in his head, was supposed to happen. Zechariah 1 verse 15.
Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15.
Go ahead.
And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease.
That are what?
That are at ease.
Yeah, you're at ease. You're at ease thinking that you're going to get a pass and get into the kingdom of the Most High and get away with all the things you've done.
Right.
Go ahead. Come on.
For I was but a little displeased. And they helped forward the affliction.
He was a little displeased with who?
With us.
Israel. A little displeased, but they did what?
Helped forward the affliction.
Yeah, see, what you got to understand is the nations went too far. They went too far. Yeah, they were supposed to put us in captivity. But do you think they were supposed to rip us apart? Feed us to dogs? Have sex? Have so much sex with our women to where our children are inbreds? Right. To where we don't even know how damn who is of our nation? You think that was supposed to happen? Hell no, the nations went too far. What? You was going to say something?
Yeah, thoughts. Yeah. Thoughts coming.
Go ahead, read.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies.
I am what?
Returned to Jerusalem with mercies.
Yeah, because the mercy of the Most High is going to come back. See? Go ahead.
My house shall be built in it.
Yeah, the Most High is going to build his house in Jerusalem. Did that happen?
Wow.
Okay, you can't read the scripture. Yeah, that happened. When? When was the Most High dwelling amongst the Israelites? Like it says in Revelations, because that's what he's quoting is a future prophecy. Where it says in Isaiah 60 that Christ was going to be in the middle of us. It hasn't happened. So when they're reading these scriptures, they're reading it like it's done. Like it's past. Like the ass whooping is already past.
Right.
Hell no. No, 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 no. The Most High is coming for them.
Come on.
This destruction is because the nations hold the children of Israel at bay from the Most High. We can't serve the Most High right.
Come on.
Just like Egypt. Y'all, everybody forgot what happened in Egypt? Let my people go? Right? And they didn't want to let us go, right?
Come on.
That's what's going to happen to these nations, man. And we're yelling it. Let my people go. Come out of her, my people. Be not partakers of her sins. What's up, Zion?
And that's what that was the thought before, is how the nations already know that we're the Most High's, we're the apple of his eye. So that's why they almost just do us 10 times worse in having us defile the foods, having us not being able to deal with the family organization of the family. So, come on.
Yeah. Oh, Isaiah 47:6. Let's go. Let's go. Because the people want to know, well, why? Why? One, because he made a promise.
Come on.
And the Most High is not a man that he should lie.
Come on.
The promise was made that these nations were going to suffer. That these nations were going to pay. That these nations were going to be destroyed. Right? But why though? Because they went too far. They weren't supposed to do a lot of what they've done to us. It wasn't supposed to go that far.
Right.
Your ass whooping is so hard that you're calling yourself black? Have you ever knocked somebody out? Have you ever got knocked out? And your whole brain just blacked out? Oh, that's what happened to the black man. Your ass whooping was so hard that you're like, I'm black. I'm black. You calling yourself a color. And look at me like you're crazy. Look at us like you're crazy when we say, no, you got a nation. That's an ass whooping. That's one of those getting knocked out. You wake up, where am I at? And that's what the black man has been saying for the last hundreds of years. You don't know where you're at. You don't know who you are. You're lost. Read that, 47:6.
I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance.
Go ahead.
And given them into thy hand.
So who put them over us? The Most High. But what did the Most High say? Read.
Thou didst show them no mercy.
Thou what?
Didst show them no mercy.
Oh, they made sure they was with a continual stroke. You think the Most High wants them to continually do what they're doing out here in these streets to the black man? Hell no. No. So you're talking about, oh, well, it's over. That's in the past. Is it? You got one white person, one African person, and they want to be Christians. Okay. But what are they doing for the nation of Israel? What are they doing for our people? So everybody, they can't get a pass because their whole nation is wicked as hell. And they're not caring about the will of the Most High. They're not caring about the Most High's, the apple of his eye. It said they had what? Come on.
They didn't show them no mercy.
Go ahead.
Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke.
Man, he took the old. Go there. Deuteronomy 28, verse 50. He said they had no mercy. They went too far. How far did they go? We're going to find out.
28 verse 50.
Go ahead.
A nation of fierce countenance.
Right.
Which shall not regard the person of the old. Nor show favor to the young.
That's why the white man all nations. Because I want to talk about Esau, but also we're going to talk about all nations being confederate.
Come.
Why all nations don't get a chance to sit down in the kingdom? They're going to sit down, all right?
Right.
They're going to sit their ass down in the dirt.
Come.
So you're asking, well, why? I didn't want to just start with the destruction. I wanted to show you why. Why the Most High said that they're going to feel it. That he's coming back to whoop their butt.
Come.
Because they did with his people, with the nation of the ones he loved, something dirty.
Come.
What?
I'm thinking about it because even when we were in rule, we never dealt with the nations the way that they're dealing with us.
Nah.
So it's almost like I can see the Most High upstairs, like God,
Solomon, when he was in power, what happened? Nations were in their land.
Come.
They ruled. David, when he was in this land, they ruled in their land.
Come.
But they had to pay tribute. They knew who they were. They didn't go through and wipe out every piece of damn history.
Right.
Y'all think this is a small thing. It's not a small thing to the Most High.
Come.
To wipe out your whole historical background. To burn up all your artifacts. To steal every piece of resource that defines you as a nation.
Right.
You think the Most High wanted that? Nah. They were supposed to correct us, beat us, whoop us, but then not make us watch. I'm going to show you. Read that, 28 and 50. Come on, because I got to
28 and verse 50.
Uh-huh.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Go ahead.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle.
Yeah, see, they didn't show favor to the old, to the young. They didn't show favor to the young women. They didn't show favor to nobody. So they went too far. We're not going to go over Deuteronomy. We can, though. I mean, if we wanted to stay in there the whole class, we can.
Right.
And show you why the Most High is going to bring wrath on them.
God.
Okay, but go to Isaiah 51, verse 22. Isaiah 51, 22.
Isaiah chapter 51 and verse 22.
Hold on, wait till they get it. Y'all got it? Go ahead.
Thus saith thy Lord, thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people.
He pleads the cause of Israel. He's been doing that. The Most High has been fighting for us, even in our ignorance, even in our slaveries, in our captivities. The only reason why we're here is because the Most High. You understand that? The only reason why you know that you're a Jew of the tribe of Judah is because the Most High had a little mercy on you. Because if you left it up to them, oh boy. If you left it up to them, what?
Bill and Earl.
No, I'll tell you. Hold that. Go to Isaiah. I didn't have this one in there. Let's throw it in there, though. Go to Isaiah 1. He said, if you left it up to them, go to Isaiah 1 and 9.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 9.
This is what happened if you would have left it up to them. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 9. Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant.
Unless the Most High has left a small remnant, 144,000, 1/3. Go ahead.
We should have been as Sodom.
What does the white man want us to be?
As Sodom.
What does the Africans want us to be?
Should have been as Sodom.
What does the Chinese want us to be?
We should have been as Sodom.
What does the nation want us to be?
As Sodom.
They will have us walking around all transvestites.
Con.
Every black man that represents black man on TV is either a faggot or a damn transvestite.
Right?
So when you talk about, well, they get to sit down in the kingdom too and join in and eat with us, hell no. Hell no. No, sir.
What was that?
That's Isaiah 1 and 9. The Most High said they would have us sodomites. Unless the Most High said, you know what? Hold on a second. This ass whooping is getting real. You know, you ever get that when you whoop your kid? You're like, okay, he's feeling this right now. This nigga's weak. Yeah, like, let me pump the brakes. The Most High had to pump the brakes on these nations, because if not, they would have wiped us off the face of the earth. Leave it up to them. Go ahead.
And we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
Homosexuals, lesbians, transvestites, having sex with dogs and animals. They have us just like them.
Right.
They have us with the sex dolls and all that. That's where this kingdom is going. And the Most High is showing us that unless He saved us. So the Most High had to intervene. Go back to Isaiah 51. Where we left off at. Isaiah 51 and 22. Read it.
Verse 20. Isaiah chapter 51, verse 22.
Uh-huh.
Thus saith the Lord. Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God, that pleadeth the cause of His people.
Who plead? The Most High pleads our cause. He's fighting for us. That's why Israel don't understand how much mercy that we have from the Most High. You don't understand how much mercy we're getting. You don't understand how much mercy the Most High is to bring us back and to do this and to sit down and learn this knowledge. The Most High is pleading our cause because they don't want us to be a nation.
Right.
That's why they come out, what? Oh, you're a spiritual Israelite. They've tried in every way. If it ain't crack gonna do it, how about we just take the knowledge and everybody's spiritual Israel? It's not important now. What?
I was gonna say, is that one of the reasons why they wanted to make they came in and raped Israel the way they did so that they could
wipe us out?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Diminish
the seed, but they couldn't because the seed was determined by the man. See, how they thinking is like, you know what, we're going to go ahead and mingle and rape their women. Those children are Edomites. They ain't got nothing to do with us. But yes, they try to drain our seed out. And if you left it up to their knowledge and to their DNA, there ain't no such thing as human or a black man, a Mexican man, or y'all, you know what I mean. There ain't no such thing as an Israelite man. We're all American. What's up?
No, I was looking at what is that? Uncle Tom? What's that movie?
Goodbye Uncle Tom?
Yeah, Goodbye Uncle Tom. It was just the beginning where they talk about they had to castrate the men because they said there were so many of us that we would just be repopulated.
Yeah.
So they had to take out a certain number so that we wouldn't. But that was one of the things.
Well, what do you think about Egypt was about? What do you think about Planned Parenthood was about? It's the same thing, to kill our children.
Feminine now. Ooh.
What do you think about the damn pills and all the depot and all those shots you take? Rip up your body so you won't damn have a kid. What do you think about, what do you think the soda and the food and the drugs and that is about? To stop you from burying damn so many kids. Because the black man, the Mexican man, between just two tribes.
We were heavy. Squatted up.
Brothers love kids. Like, you got 9 and still want more. Right? They want to wash out that seed. So yeah, you're correct in that. All right, go ahead and finish. You're going to read to verse 23, and then somebody give me Psalms 83. Go ahead.
Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling.
Go ahead.
Even the dregs of the cup of my fury.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt no more drink it again.
So the Most High is saying, I'm pulling back my anger from you. Go ahead.
Verse 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee.
Now, he's going to move his anger to them. Go ahead.
Which have said to thy soul.
They said to us what?
Bow down.
They said to our what?
To thy soul.
They don't only want your body. They want your soul. And they say what?
Bow down.
They what?
Bow down.
The white man, bruh, if you let him, if you let America, if you let these heathens, man, they say bow down and what?
That we may go over.
Yeah, that's to your soul. They don't just want your nationality, your identity. They want all the way to your soul. So you're coming with this, well, why? Why is this? Why did the nations don't get a chance? Not because I'm saying, because the anger of the Lord is fed up with them.
Right.
He's seen what they've done. You understand that? Go ahead.
And thou hast laid thy body as the ground.
Yeah, bro. If the Most High He didn't put the spirit and move certain things about integration. Because think about it. If we weren't integrated, they would have been wiped us out of the face of the earth. Be not deceived. if we couldn't have drank out the same fountain, it would have only been a matter of time. They were like, these niggas are getting too much powerful. Let's go kill them. Just like what happened in Egypt. He was like, they're too great and mightier than us. We got to do something about them. So what they do, start putting us in slavery. And what's the first thing they did?
More hours.
Kill the firstborn. So the Most High is like, nah, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to build this mind in them. Right? And then you get to drink out the same water. Now you get to shop at the same place. But even in that, was it good? Because you got lost more. More of the curses came on you. So either road, we would have went down. The Most High was like, here, I'm going to give you your whooping. But the nations, they're perpetuating the theme, man, that the Most High don't want. He don't want to annihilate his people. He don't want to wash you off the face of the earth. Go ahead.
Psalm chapter 83. Keep. Verse 1.
No, did you finish that? Go ahead.
And as the street to them that went over.
Yeah, listen, the white man, these nations that have you out there on the ground, walking over you like dirt. They already think you're dirt. So, you know, it's not personal. It's biblical. And a lot of these nations have to understand that the Most High is angry what you did for what you did to his people. Go, another scripture I want to add to that. Go to 2nd Esdras. I want to add this one too. Go to 2nd Esdras. I gotta find it. Hold on. It's another scripture. It's one of my favorite ones too, because it's not hitting me right now. And then we'll go. Then we'll go to that Psalms 83, because we're gonna get down who. Psalm. It's 15. 2nd Esdras 15. And you're gonna read verse 8.
2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness.
Go ahead.
Which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves.
Go ahead.
Behold the innocent and righteous blood.
The what?
The righteous blood.
The innocent and righteous blood. They're not just killing the wicked. They're killing the innocent. They're killing the innocent, brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
Crieth unto me.
They cry unto him. How much death and how much destruction, how much bloodshed and hate that we have to endure. Go ahead.
Come. And the souls of the just.
And the what?
The souls of the just.
Go ahead.
Complain continually.
Listen, the souls of the just, because these nations want to walk over your soul. They complain continually. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them.
I will what?
Surely avenge them.
All right, we're going to get into all that. But you know what I want to do? Who's doing it? Psalms 83. Let's see who's doing it, though. Right? Because everybody gets a pass. The sons of God don't get a pass, but the nations, no. Go ahead.
83 and 6.
83 and 2. Go ahead.
For lo, thy enemies.
Let's see who's the enemies. Go ahead.
Make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
Right. So, when you say they walked over us, they destroyed us, who are we talking about? Who are our enemies? Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel.
You think the Most High said, listen, I want you to take crafty counsel to do what?
Against my people.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And consulted against their hidden ones.
Go ahead.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So, you think the nations get away with that? They just get a pass? This is what the nations have perpetuated. They not only said, let's walk over their soul, let's take their spirit, but they also said, let's cut them off from being a nation. And that's what they're doing. Yet these people don't understand, because you're in that Christian mind state. You wanna look at the good things that was first of all promised to the Israelites.
Right.
But you're not looking at the things that the nations have committed and done wickedly. You're not even looking. Like all these things that promise. What is this about? They consulted against the chosen and they just, that's it? It's good to know? No. Ezra said, the Most High said, all through the Bible says, he was going to cause vengeance for his people. He was going to revenge for his people. When did that happen? You trying to act like it happened. That's what it's like, that happened already. Now we're moving on to the next. It hasn't happened. We're still in captivity. We're still in slavery. Where's the vengeance? So you're voiding out promises that never happened to the children of Israel. And God doesn't void them out. It says, he that leadeth to captivity shall go into captivity. He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. Whatsoever man sowed, that shall he also reap. That has to happen. Go ahead.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And that's what the purpose of these nations are to do. They want to wipe us out from being a nation. That's why they're continuing and perpetuating it. And it's almost to that point. Because think about how hard we're fighting as a nation to get back. Think about how much preaching has to be done and history has to be taught to bring you back to your nation. And even in all of that, you would rather have the white man walk right over your soul. Because it's so that much hard for you to lock in the spirit. Think about it. You believe so much, but why is everything so much a problem? Because you got the white man always up your butt like a puppet master controlling your brain. And how you grew up, what you were indoctrinated by, what you believe. Who has part in that? Esau, but perpetuated through the nations too. Because when you go in their neighborhoods, they ain't no better. The Africans ain't no better. You're still a nigga there. You go to China, they call you, they look at you and point and say doo-doo. Right? Right? So all nations. You go to Germany, you go to these other countries. Now is every single one of these persons? No. You're probably going to get a person from another nation that what? I don't got no problem. But that ain't got nothing to do with what their nation is doing.
Majority of them, right?
Majority of them are think like this, feel like this. This is why the Most High is angry. He's not going to come back and deal with, the scriptures say he's going to judge amongst the nations. So he's gathering them together as a nation of people. He's not coming dealing with us and saying, okay, RBR, I'm going to just deal with you. And and then I'm going to go to the next one. He's going to deal with us as Israelites. Then he comes down and gathers you and deals with your spirit. That's how it works. Same thing with these nations. Go ahead.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
Right.
They are confederate.
They are confederate. Read.
Against thee.
Right.
The tabernacles of Edom.
So the white man, he's led it. America has led this hatred. America has led the lies. America has led the hate that is destroying our identity, nationality, our history. You say America, the so-called white man. Go all the way back to the Greeks and the Romans. It started all the way back then. Go ahead.
And the Ishmaelites.
Right, and the Arabs. So like I said, this ain't only about the so-called white man, all nations. Because you focus on the white man and people think, oh, you guys are just racist. You guys are just a hate group. No. We dislike all nations that are against the Most High. Right? And continue perpetuate lies and falsehood. We go out there, we still deal civil. We still deal with wisdom with them. But we know the outcome.
You just go in captivity.
Yeah, like we know the outcome. So but we know the vengeance is the Lord. But it's been perpetuated by the white man, the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, what else?
of Moab.
Okay, go ahead.
And the Hagarene.
And the Hagarene, which are Africans. Go ahead.
Jabal.
Right.
And Ammon.
And we're going to straighten those out. Go ahead.
And Amalek.
And Amalek, which are a portion of Esau. Go ahead.
The Philistines.
Right. More Africans.
And the inhabitants of Tyre.
Right. It's Tyre, right?
Yeah.
Tyre. Right. Which are more Hamites. Okay. But this is just one chapter. We got many chapters to put all the nations on blast. It ain't just one. It ain't just these nations. It's all the nations that had a part in our destruction, in our captivity, and in our punishment. Go from there. Go to Job 9:24. Give me Psalms 137 and 7. So, like I said, I wanted to go over this topic. First of all, for us to understand why is the Most High angry with these nations. It's not because their skin color. Y'all get that?
God.
So if you're a so-called Christian or whatever, and you're talking about hate group, no. See, it got nothing to do with color. This got something to do as a nation, they're wicked as hell.
Right.
Just like we as a nation were wicked and the Most High punished us. Okay, go ahead.
Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
So you trying to tell me that you think God wanted to cover all the faces of the judges? No, the wicked did that. So when it says they went too far, when it says they went overboard, what did they do? Every image that was of the black man, you think the Most High wanted them to paint God as white? The angels white? The apostles white? He covered the faces of the judges. Do you think God wanted him to take our history? Nah. That's why I showed you in the scriptures that they went too far. The earth is in their wicked hand and they covered us up. Go ahead.
If not, where? And who is he?
Go to Psalms 137 and 7. Psalms 137 and 7. Well, who is it? Who does it start out with? We just read it in Psalms 83. Well, let's read it again. Psalms 137. Read.
Psalm chapter 137, verse 7.
Go ahead.
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
Wait. No. Forget them.
The children of Edom.
No. They get a pass.
The children of Edom.
No. Let them go because, there's some good ones.
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
Go ahead.
In the day of Jerusalem.
And listen, David is saying, remember them. The Most High is showing us he's going to remember them.
Right.
Go ahead.
Who said, raise it. Even the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed.
He said to be what?
To be destroyed.
No. They get to sit up with us and eat chocolate.
To be destroyed.
Netflix.
You're kidding me. You understand?
Marshmallows, right.
Go ahead.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Right. See, happy shall he be. You understand? That is going to be rewarded because he served us. You understand?
Right.
Go ahead.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little one against the stones.
Are y'all listening? Did this happen to Edom? No, man.
He is Christ.
This didn't. I'm finding this other one that I didn't add. It's coming to my head. I think it's Isaiah. Go ahead, read on.
That's in the chapter.
Right. Y'all understand this? The Most High is showing you that the forerunner was the so-called white man. That's why when you go back to Psalms 83, he lets you know the first person is Esau. Why? Because his hate for his brother Jacob. Okay? Hold on. I got to add this one. It wouldn't be right. It's in my brain, and I'm trying to think of how it goes.
Isaiah 14?
It is Isaiah 14. I think it is. It's somewhere. Face. Let me see.
The wicked shall be turned into hell.
No, hold on. Hold on. No, because what I'm doing is going over specifics, showing wicked is it can be generalized. Now I want to hit on specifics, showing you who we're talking about.
Okay.
We're not just talking about just the wicked.
What's that? He said all nations.
We're gonna bear with me on that. Do me a favor, help me out here. Find me the one where it says that he's going to destroy their children so they won't build no more cities. Find me that one out. All right, and then we're going to go from there. And go to Ezekiel 36. I want to add that one though before. It says he shall fill no more. Dang, I thought it was in Isaiah. Y'all got to have this one.
Oh yeah, kind of Isaiah 14 and verse 21.
Is it? All right.
Do not rise nor possess the land.
That's it. Isaiah 14. I knew it was there. And was that the one you were talking about, y'all? Y'all right? The exact one?
Nah, I was going to start at 5 and then go to
Right. Go down? Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to do that too, but I want to get this specific one. Read that.
Come.
Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21.
Prepare
slaughter for his children,
right,
for the iniquity of their fathers.
Wait a minute. But his ancestors get a pass. His children get a pass. Read it again for him.
Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
Y'all not understanding that this is something that is going to happen. It hasn't happened. So it's contradictory to be like, oh yeah, they're gonna get sit down in the kingdom of God and then get a holy ass whooping. Which one is it? Destruction, slavery, or punishment? Destruction, payback. Children dashed to pieces don't sound like cookies and cake.
God.
That doesn't sound like that. So read that part again.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21.
Go ahead.
Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
So the children are going to pay for the iniquity. Now ask yourself this. Has these nations stopped? You can answer it yourself, man. Just read the scriptures. He's saying they're going to pay for the iniquities of their fathers. We have. We pay for the iniquities of our fathers.
10 times over.
10 times over, right? And still, it ain't up. It ain't done. But they don't get to pay. They get a pass. Yeah.
Right above that in verse 20, the Most High refers to them as the seed of evildoers.
Yeah, the seed of exactly. Read 20. Come on.
Verse 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land.
Go ahead.
And slain thy people, the seed of evildoers.
Yeah. You're talking about a seed wicked. So, now we're understanding that this is what the Most High promised that will happen to these other nations. Okay? It's going to get deep. I got a lot. That's why I'm trying to get through these. Go to Ezekiel 36:21 because it gets more specific. It gets more specific to where we're talking about, where you was trying to get into Zion, but I didn't want to jump there right as yet. I want to get these other things out first. Ezekiel 36 verse 21.
Ezekiel chapter 36 verse 21.
But
I had pity for mine holy name.
Wait a minute. Why else did he do it?
I had pity for mine holy name.
So don't get cocky, Israel. You are the apple of his eye. But also, he was saying for his name. Yeah, I know Israel get cocky. Yeah, I'm the apple of the Most High's eye. Yeah, chosen. Like, nigga, act chosen. He's saying here, he's doing it for his name. Go ahead.
Which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen.
Yeah, because you know what? Israel, you clowning too. So I got to clean you up for my name's sake. He's like, damn, you're making me look bad. Y'all see this? So we got two reasons here now. You went too far, and the Lord is like, man, he had to intervene. What's up?
Where we at, sir?
Ezekiel 36, verse 21. He had to intervene. And for his name's sake, he had to intervene. Go ahead.
Whither they went. Verse 22. Therefore, say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord, I do not this for your sakes.
He said, I don't do it for your sakes. You check that pride now, huh? Go ahead.
O house of Israel.
Go ahead.
But for mine holy name.
He said, for his holy name.
He said
No, the Most High is putting us in order. And reminding us that don't get cocky. I lift you up and I made you. You understand? Yes, you're the apple of my eye. Yes, I'm married to you. But listen, I put my name on you too. You know, it's like you get that disgruntled wife. You're like, you're making me look bad. I got to put you to the side. Right? Go ahead.
But for my holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen.
Go ahead.
Whither ye went. And I will sanctify my great name.
The Most High is going to cleanse us up. He's going to clean us up. He's going to sanctify and cleanse his holy name. Go ahead.
Which was profaned among the heathen.
Yeah.
Which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord.
Right.
Saith the Lord, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
You see that? The Most High is going to get us right. All the nations going to see Israel is his people, is his chosen, is the elect. Right? Go to Isaiah 63, verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1.
How is he going to be sanctified? How is he going to sanctify us? How is he going to cleanse us? Go ahead.
Who is that? Who is this that cometh from Edom?
Right. You know how he's going to cleanse us? He's got to move somebody out the way. He's got to move somebody out the way. Listen, the story is not that much different from what happened in Egypt. Pharaoh had to be moved out of the way. So to get his apple of his eye, to cleanse Israel, who are we in the hand of? Esau, Edom. So how is he going to get us back? Go ahead, read.
With dyed garments from Bozrah.
You know what he's going to do? He's going to kill all those so-called Jews over there. He's going to destroy Esau. He's going to destroy Edom. He's going to bring down this nation. Tell me when that happened.
It hasn't.
What's the Holocaust?
Yeah. No. It wasn't the little burning they was doing. Hitler was burning them up. Talk about this nation. When has the Most High came with dyed garments, bloody garments? Go ahead, read.
That is glorious in his apparel.
Go ahead.
Traveling in the greatness of his strength.
Right, you're going to read down to verse 6. Come on, read clear, man. Go ahead.
I that speak in righteousness might to save. Mighty to save. Verse 2. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel.
So the Most High has to step in. Somebody else pick up reading.
In thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat.
The Most High has to intervene. The Creator has to come in and stop the shenanigans. There's a lot of shenanigans going on here. And he's going to do that with what? Not a red garment, but dyed garments with blood. This is his promise. Okay, so which one is it? Is he going to save all nations? He's going to kumbaya, bring us together, hand joined in hand across the world?
Right.
Or is he coming back for bloodshed? Well, I'm reading bloodshed. I'm reading death. This is the beginning, though. Go ahead.
Verse 3. I have trodden the winepress alone.
Go ahead.
And of the people there is none with me.
Yeah. So, putting it in this perspective, Christ is coming to save us. We ain't going to save ourselves. Go ahead.
For I will tread them in my anger.
He was going to do what?
Tread them in my anger.
Who is he going to tread? Edom. The so-called white man, the Edomite nation. Go ahead.
And trample them in my fury.
Go ahead.
And their blood
Read.
shall be sprinkled upon my garments.
All right, so this is not just grape juice. Go ahead.
Their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments.
Go ahead.
And I will stain all my raiment.
Right. If you want to get dirty with it, he said he's going to stain his clothes with the blood of Esau. That's Jesus.
God.
That's Yahushua. He's coming to stain his garments with the blood of Esau. You understand that?
Right.
This is what the Messiah said. What verse you at?
Verse 4.
Go ahead.
For the day of vengeance is in my heart.
When is that day of vengeance? And why is he having vengeance? Because his people, he's coming to deliver us. And we got it. We got the scriptures. It says, not only for our name's sake, but for his name's sake. He promised us. Right?
That's right.
That David's seed will rule the earth. You understand? Read.
And the year of my redeemed is come.
Right?
And I looked, and there was none to help.
Go ahead.
And I wondered that there was none to uphold.
Right.
Therefore, my own arm brought salvation unto me.
That's for all the Israelites thinking you're going to be fighting. You're not. Not as of yet. The first blow is from Yahushua. You get the second blow. Go ahead.
And my fury is upheld me.
Listen, God is angry.
Right.
The Creator is angry. He said his fury upheld him. You think the Most High is happy with how the earth is?
Lie.
It said it's given into the hand of the wicked. You think the Most High wants this? Death and destruction throughout the world?
Nah.
Hell no. The Most High didn't intend the earth to be like this. It's like this because it's given into the hand of the wicked. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And I will tread down the people in my anger.
He said he would tread them. And this is why I keep thinking, I keep saying he's not coming back. He's not coming back 5'2".
Right.
To tread people, he's going to be huge. Go ahead.
And make them drunk in my fury.
Go ahead.
And I will bring down their strength to the earth.
Right. And it goes down, but we're not going to go in there yet. Go to Jeremiah 49:7, Isaiah 25.
Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 7.
Now he's just show you what he's going to do to the nations. But who's the first person he mentioned? Edom. Why? Because like in Psalms 83, Edom has perpetuated the hatred. You understand that? The nations, they help them out. So, for all you Bible pushing people, we're right, Bible gurus, which one is it? Is he saving them? Is he going to gather all nations? Or is he going to kumbaya? Or is he going to destroy them?
Right.
He put a separation. You know what it is, y'all? A lot of people, when they read nations, they think we're included in that. That, yeah, he's going to come back and do that to all nations. No. He made a separations, the nations and Israelites. And my chosen, my people, the apple of my eye. They read it like, yeah, of course, Christ is going to... No, stop it. Shut up. That's madness.
Right.
He's coming back to destroy the nation for what they did to his seed, his children. Watch, it gets more on point as you go. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Look, there he is again. We got him red-handed.
Right.
Literally. Go ahead.
Is wisdom no more into mine?
Right, because the Most High is going to take out his wisdom, his knowledge, his science, his technology. Go ahead.
Is counsel perished from the prudent?
Go ahead.
Is their wisdom vanished?
Yeah, the Most High is destroying his wisdom. No, you didn't go to the moon. No, you don't see into the ends of the earth. You lying serpent.
Right.
I see into the Higgs. I can see all the way to when the earth started. Right. Nigga, are you serious?
Stop. Are
you serious? I can see I can see what, no, not the earth, excuse me, the universe started.
God.
You got to be a damn idiot to believe that. And we over there like, yeah, him smart.
We're just drunks.
Him smart. He's a lying. He says the devil has not come forth to kill, to steal, to murder. He's a liar, and he abode in all lies.
God.
Right? He's the father of lies.
Damn.
Right?
God.
I see into the beginning of the universe. Yeah.
He lying so hard that he don't even back up his, well, not back up, but he doesn't like.
He don't care. He don't care.
check, because a lot of his lies are being proven to be false. And the thing about it, yeah.
By his own people.
Come.
Go ahead, read.
Verse 8. Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan. For I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him.
Read.
The time that I will visit him. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes?
See, where's he quoting this from? Obadiah.
Come.
He's saying if you would go grab grapes, anybody civilized would get food, right? Go ahead.
If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough.
Right. See, they would take a little bit till they had enough. You know, I mean, think about it. Does the average thief go in your house and steal your whole house? Does he go in and like take everything? You come back home and he moved out every damn thing.
You be like, God damn.
Yeah, like this is cold, huh?
Well,
that's America.
They even took the foundation.
That's America. They take the dirt right from up under you. They take the dirt. These nations have taken your, listen, they over there in your land and took your land. They took the dirt. They came over here to America and, man, took the dirt. Was like, nah, that's our ground. And if you want to be on it, it's going to be maybe, you know, $1 a yard. Right. $1 a foot. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 10.
But
I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret place.
And that's what the Most High is doing. The Most High is showing you his ass. That America's filthy and nasty and she's a whore.
Right.
That's why it tells you in Isaiah 47, come down and sit in the dust, O daughter of Babylon. Yeah, it says, uncover the skirt, unbear your locks. Why? Because he's making, America's being seen. You're not the great America.
Right.
You're Trump is the representation of America. A psychopath, a lunatic, unforgiving, unloving, truthful with his hate. That's America. And now people are waking up and it's like everybody's being mind blown. Like, wow, I can't believe he said that. Right. That all these, what did he say about Africa and what else?
Shithole?
Yeah, he said certain countries, Haiti was a shithole.
Right.
Like, the white man been thinking that.
Right.
They look at you when you step out the car and they think that of you. This is the hatred that's been inbred in them, and it's keep going, and it's going too far. It's going too far. Go ahead.
And he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled.
You understand this? He's not going to be able to run. I don't give a damn how many bunkers he got on the earth.
Right.
How many missile silos in the middle of the moon. Where he think he's running to, he's not going to run.
Right.
The Most High's there already, looking at him. Go ahead.
And his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not.
Go ahead.
Leave thy fatherless children.
Right, so that's it on that. Y'all can go read down on that, because it goes down, but I'm not going to have enough time to get over to these rests of these scriptures. So go to Ezekiel 25. Go to Ezekiel 25 and verse 12. Then we'll jump to Obadiah. Get that. Go ahead.
Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 12.
Go ahead.
Thus said the Lord God.
Go ahead.
Because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah.
Wait a minute. Why is this happening?
Because Edom,
the so-called white man,
had dealt against the house of Judah.
The so-called black man. Go ahead.
By taking vengeance.
By what?
Taking vengeance.
See, this is where it all started. This is what's going on here is Deuteronomy 28 at times 1,000.
Right.
His vengeance that he laid on the children of Israel wasn't supposed to go all the way this way, man. You have a history. You have a nationality. You have an identity.
Right.
The white man has stripped you from all these things. Look at that. I keep saying it. We got to keep that up here. The list of all the inventions the black man made. You came up with so many things, and guess what? Where's all the... You talk about the 10 black billionaires you can count on your hand. You made everything. You're supposed to have a patent to a lot of these things. Where is it? Where they at? See, they stole them, they robbed them, they murdered them, and now we are what we are. We know, don't take it personal. It was you, Israel, right? You went amongst the heathen, you were disobedient, you were disgruntled, but they still went too far. The Most High is like, I didn't tell you to do that. I told you to beat them, not then destroy their identity.
Right.
Go ahead.
And had greatly offended.
Go ahead.
And revenged himself upon them.
You listening? He said he greatly offended. He greatly offended the Most High. That's like you giving your children to a brother and be like, yeah, could you watch him? You come back, he's beat up. You got whoopings on. You whooped him like, yeah, man, I had to whip his ass. He was getting out of order. Like, but like that? Like, I didn't say, yeah, his eyes out, he's blood everywhere. It's like, yeah, discipline him, but damn. Well, that's what the white man did to us. He went too far. Go ahead.
Therefore, thus said the Most High Yahweh, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom.
Go ahead.
And will cut off man and beast from it.
Y'all not getting this. I don't care what y'all say. The word is true. You can act like this ain't here. You can act like it's voided out, like he wasn't talking to nobody. It was just a story. He's coming for Esau. He's coming for all these nations that have part with Esau. That's why if I get a chance, go to Revelation to show you. The prophecies don't stop. So how does this amount up to them in the kingdom with us? How do they get salvation? This don't look like salvation. So yes, they're going to be saved. Saved for an ass whooping. Saved for destruction. Saved for slavery. Saved for torment. That's what they're going to be saved. What you was going to say?
No, and while we're reading about Edom, you think I'm not trying to get off topic, just about, how they try to say the Arab's the white man. Not at all, because the Arab's not doing what Esau's doing.
There you go.
And not even just about what Esau did to the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American today in past events.
Well, whatever they want to say he is, guess what? All nations are under there anyway. So none of the nations is getting away. Go ahead.
And I will make it desolate from Tamar.
Edom.
He said he will make it desolate. Go ahead.
And they of Dedan shall fall by the sword.
Go ahead.
And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people, Israel.
You know what that means? That means we're going to get a little bit of that too. Like I said, Christ get the first blow. We get the second. And when is that going to happen? When he gets us right and we go back out there and get the rest of them scattered throughout the world trying to be disgruntled. We're going to get them in order. Go ahead.
And they shall do in Edom.
They're going to do what?
In Edom.
Go ahead.
According to mine anger.
And the Most High is going to put the spirit on us to really have that spirit. Because like I said, right now, you ain't got the spirit. Nah, man. You got anger, but do you got the vengeance of the Lord?
Hit somebody in the throat, fight their whole body.
You don't got the vengeance of the Lord in you. Why? Because one is your vengeance in the law. No, you want to do things outside of the law or some Edomite. You gotta think about it. You don't want to stick to the law. You want to rip them from upside down and do defile things.
Right.
But the Most High is going to put his vengeance in us so it can be correct. It can be right. All right, go from there. Go to Obadiah 1 and 10. And then somebody else jump back to Ezekiel 36.
Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 10.
For
thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Now we're understanding. We're getting a little more clarity on why these things are going to happen. Why is the nations not going to be sitting down? Because Christ is coming back specifically to destroy the nations. Right. It doesn't work that way. He's not going to be sitting down with them and destroying them. That's a sick movie. He's coming back to save the children of Israel and to destroy these nations because we are in their hand and they've destroyed us over and over again. Go ahead.
Shame shall cover thee.
Right.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Right. Well, was this just Obadiah that said it? No. Obadiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah. Y'all don't understand. These are all prophecies and promises. You don't get to say, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's really not fair. That's not going to happen. That's what you're saying when you're saying they get a pass. That's what you're saying when you're trying to make void all these prophets. Read on.
Verse 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side.
Go ahead.
In the day that the strangers carried away captives.
See, wait. The other nations carried us captive. So, y'all see that this is not about black or white?
Right.
No, because the other nations are part of it. Go ahead.
His forces and foreigners entered into his gates.
And y'all can read on in that. We got that before. I'm trying to get the rest of these scriptures out. Ezekiel 36 verse 4 and 5, and then give me Isaiah 34 verse 1.
Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 4.
Go ahead.
Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord God. Thus said the Most High Yahweh, to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate waste, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision.
Read.
To the residue of the heathen that are round about.
Right, listen, he's talking to the heathen. Go ahead.
Therefore, thus said the Most High Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen.
Go ahead.
And against all Idumea.
See? So, if you thought it was just about the so-called white man, no. He said the residue of the heathen in all Idumea, which again is Esau, Edom. Go ahead.
Which have appointed my land into their possession.
Go ahead.
With the joy of all their heart.
Yeah, oh, they love it too. They love it, man, when they kill us and shoot us. All those videos of them laughing, setting us up, the cops setting us up, right? They love it, man. You hear them laughing behind the camera talking about, I cannot believe this. They were laughing. They laughing when they shooting you. Got another one. What?
What does it mean when he says when he names off the places, the mountains, and to the hills, and to the, what is that?
What verse? Read it again.
Verse 4.
Read it.
Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord God.
Oh, he's saying by I put that on the mountains. Right. I put that on everything. You gonna listen to this. Okay. That's what he's saying. I'm confessing by all the greatness in Israel. Right? Go ahead.
With despiteful mind.
Go ahead.
To cast it out for a prey.
Go ahead.
Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel. And say unto the mountains and unto the hills.
Right.
To the rivers and to the valleys.
Because he wants all of us to know. He said he's going to let everyone know what is going to happen. Go ahead.
Thus said the Lord God, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen.
Go ahead.
Therefore, thus said the Lord God, I have lifted up mine hand. Surely the heathen that are about you, they shall bear their shame.
They shall bear their shame. So you have to see that they've all had a part in this. See? Yeah. That was Ezekiel 36 verse 4 and 5. Y'all see this? And yeah, the Most High is angry at the Israelites that went amongst the heathen. And guess what? 2/3 are still going to be with the heathen. They're going to want to live, think, feel like this nation. But the Most High is like, nah. I'm going to do away with y'all too. They got to go too. Go from there, Isaiah 34 verse 1. Isaiah 34 verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Most High is upon all nations.
Upon who?
All nations.
See, the Most High is angry with all these nations. Because the Most High... Wow, where did that go? Because the Most High, man, set these nations up. And guess what? These nations had a chance, right? And what did they do with the chance? They abused it. Did they follow the laws of the Most High? No, they didn't follow the laws of the Most High. That's really nice. They had the chance, right? What happened when the Most High set them up?
They did what they wanted to do.
Go to Isaiah 11 and 11.
Isaiah chapter 11.
Wow.
And verse 11.
That's terrible. Go to Isaiah 11 and 11. Let me jump back up. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand
not Isaiah. Excuse me. Romans 11 and 11.
Romans chapter 11 and verse 11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid.
Go ahead.
But rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles.
So, what did the Gentiles get?
Everything.
Everything. They got our Bible. They got the laws. They got they've got our history. They've taken everything from us. Watch, it's gonna go on. Go ahead.
God forbid.
Go ahead.
But rather through faith, but rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles. For to provoke them to jealousy.
Right, and that's what happened. The nations reaped, right, from us falling. So when you ask yourself, well, why all nations? Why do they gotta go? Because they partook in these things. They partook in our punishment. Y'all see that? I want to go here real quick. Go to Wisdom of Solomon. Let me see if I can find it. And a lot of people don't understand that all these nations have given a chance to have power, right? But what did they do with the power? Did they set up the earth in righteousness? Did they do the commandments of the Most High? Wisdom of Solomon 6, verse 1.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 and verse 1. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand, learn, ye that be judges of the ends of the earth.
Go ahead.
Give ear, ye the ruler, ye that rule the people.
Go ahead.
And glory in the multitude of nations.
Go ahead.
For the power is given you of the Lord.
So when it says that salvation came unto the Gentiles and the riches of the world, right, was given to them, all these nations benefited off of this. That's right. When we fell, all nations benefited off of this. And what was set up? All nations. Listen, Egyptians were in power. Syrians were in power. Babylonians were in power. The Persian and the Medes were in power. The Greeks were in power. The Romans in power. Right? All the way up to now. All nations were in power. That's all nations. So, you want to know why all nations? Because the Most High set them up. The power was given to them, and what did they do? Read on.
And sovereignty from the highest.
Go ahead.
Who shall try your works?
Who shall do what?
Try your works.
You want to know why? Because the Most High was trying these nations. Yeah, Darius was set up. Nebuchadnezzar was set up. Pharaoh was set up. Did they follow the laws of the Most High? Did they follow the commandments of the Most High? See, this is what people don't understand. That everybody is bound to this book. And they had consequences. And because they didn't. You're trying to bring it up to this generation and act like all the history is nothing. No, they got to pay for the sins of their past. You understand? They got to pay for the sins of their forefathers. Go ahead.
And search out your counsels. Because being ministers of his kingdom.
See, you were supposed to be ministers of this kingdom. They were the white man was supposed to come and teach the laws of the Most High. They were supposed to teach commandments. But now the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof because they transgressed the laws. See? So why are they not going to get a pass? Because they're kingdoms that have set up lies and falsehood and corruption. Go ahead.
Ye have not judged the right.
Go ahead.
Nor kept the law.
You know what?
Nor kept the law.
You not kept the law. You see that? This is a message to all the people that don't understand why all these other kingdoms are going to suffer too. Go ahead.
Nor walk after the counsel of God.
Go ahead.
Horribly and speedily.
Go ahead.
Shall he come upon you.
Go ahead.
For a sharp judgment.
And for a what?
Sharp judgment.
The Most High is going to bring judgment on them, man. And we just read it. All nations. They're going to receive a sharp judgment. Go ahead.
Shall be to them that be in high places. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest. But mighty men shall be mightily tormented.
And that's what the Most High is going to do to these kings. See, this is what the Most High is showing us, man. Go to Ecclesiastes 10.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10.
Go ahead, and 1.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 1.
A
wise judge will instruct his people.
They were supposed to instruct the people with the laws and commandments of the Most High. All nations. Egypt fell because they didn't serve the Most High. Assyria fell because they didn't serve the Most High. Babylonians all the way up to the so-called white man. You do not get a pass. See? Go ahead.
And the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Yeah, you're supposed to order it with the laws and commandments and righteousness. Isaiah 24:5, I quoted it. I want to throw that in there. Go ahead.
As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
Yeah. You talking about Trump. You talking about America. Well, why is America filled with so much hate? Because that's inbred in them. That's in their kingdom. That's in their blood. That's in their doctrine. They believe this. They're trying so hard to build this united America, but it's not united. It's too much hatred. It was built on hatred and bloodshed. So it can't be this love thing, this thing that they want it to be. And you know what? That they're pushing that they want it to be. Because they don't want it to be that. They want the rich to be rich, the poor to be poor, and to keep their system running and keep their foot on the poor. Go ahead.
And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Go ahead.
An unwise king destroyed his people.
In what?
An unwise king destroyed his people.
Man, these nations brought this destruction on themselves. They brought this on themselves, just like we brought it on ourselves. You see how the picture's much bigger than this like we're going to fight skinheads? This is talking about world dominance through the Most High. And his anger from the centuries that wickedness has been committed on this earth. So when you come to the new kingdom, you got to understand it this way. Because you're being narrow-minded to think, oh, yeah, it's just about the black man and the white man. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. It's about what they did to us, but it's all about the Lord's name. He said it. It's about his mercy that he's given, and they didn't receive it. Go ahead.
But
through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited.
Yeah, it says an unwise king destroyeth his people. Go ahead.
The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. And in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable.
And that's going to be the children of God. The children of Israel. Y'all see this?
Come.
So this is what the Most High is showing us, man, that this kingdom is being brought down in all the other kingdoms of the earth because they haven't followed the laws of the Most High.
Come.
Read where you at,
Isaiah chapter 24 verse 5. The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
Why do you think there's such pain and destruction everywhere through the earth? It's not only here in Babylon. It's throughout the world because no kingdom is following the laws of the Most High.
Right.
None of these kings are righteous. All they want is their money, their wealth. They want to keep be in power. That's it.
Their security.
Their security. They're not thinking about the will of the Most High. Go ahead.
Because they have transgressed the law.
And why is it like that? Because they're not thinking about the laws of God. Go ahead.
Change the ordinance.
They did what?
Change the ordinance.
Read.
Broken the everlasting covenant.
Right.
Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth.
That's why through the world the earth is cursed. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Y'all see this?
Come.
All right. So go back to Isaiah 34. That's where we left off, right? Oh, where did we leave off at?
No, we passed that, sir.
It's Isaiah 34.
Oh, that's it. Isaiah 34 and 1.
Isaiah 34, right?
Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken. Ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is in there.
Go ahead.
The world and all things that come forth of it.
Read.
For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations.
So now we're understanding a little bit more. Why is he angry with the nations? Y'all see this?
God.
There's a few things in there. It's because they're not righteous kings. They defiled the earth.
God.
They did what they willed to the sons of God, the children of the Most High. Y'all see that?
God.
Go ahead.
And his fury upon all their armies.
Go ahead.
He that utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter.
Go ahead.
Their slain also shall be cast out.
Go ahead.
And their stink shall come up out of their carcasses.
Does this sound like anything in the future where it's going to be happiness?
Like letting balloons loose.
Yeah, you silly. You silly. That's real though. Go ahead.
And the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
Come on, man. Sounds like a horror movie. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved.
Read.
And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
Go ahead.
And all their hosts shall fall down.
Read.
As the leaf falleth off from the vine.
Their hosts, their armies. Y'all understanding this?
Come.
Go ahead.
And as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Read.
For my sword shall be bathed in heaven.
Man, so beautifully written, isn't it?
Come.
His sword is going to be bathed in heaven. Go ahead.
Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea.
Right.
And upon the people of my curse.
Wait, read that one more again.
It shall come down upon Idumea. And upon the people of my curse.
Y'all not getting this, man. They don't get to eat crumpets with us.
Crumpets.
Crumpets. Go ahead.
I never had a crumpet.
To judgment.
Me neither. Go ahead.
Verse 6. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood.
Go ahead.
It is made fat with fatness.
Go ahead.
And with the blood of lambs and goats.
Read.
With the fat of the kidneys of rams.
Read.
For the Lord has sacrificed in Bozrah. And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
He keeps pointing these cats out. He's mad at Esau. Go ahead.
And the unicorn shall come down with them. And the bullocks with the bulls. And their land shall be soaked with blood.
Golly. It should be soaked with blood.
God.
Even though if you wanted to feel like that was an over-exaggeration, you got to understand the Most High is not playing with them.
God. It's utter destruction.
Soaked with blood, but they going to be bloody eating in the kingdom? Nah, man. This death.
God.
We going to get, watch. Listen, man, we going to get this Joel and just get straight to the point on them. Hold on, no, finish, read. Finish verse 8. Go
and
ahead.
their dust made fat with fatness.
Uh-huh.
For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance.
It is what?
The day of the Lord's vengeance.
When has this happened? When? Read.
In the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion.
You hear that?
Come.
Payback.
It's the big payback.
It's the big payback.
Come.
We better rejoice and be on the right side.
Come. Choose this day we will serve.
Yeah, exactly. Go to Joel 3. Let's finish this up. Start from verse 1. Let's see.
Joel chapter 3, verse 1.
Go ahead.
For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
Right. You know what again means? He's going to bring us back. He's going to bring us back out of captivity. Go ahead.
I will also gather all nations.
Wait a minute. So we're going to be gathered together. We're going to get some mushrooms.
Right.
And some
kale.
And some kale.
Saute.
We're going to get some shish kebab. And we all go hold hands throughout the world. And sing Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Come on, it gotta be here somewhere. Go ahead.
And will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
To do what? Read.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage.
So
Israel.
all that stuff about when it says all nations, that means all nations. Yeah, all nations outside of Israel.
That's right.
He separates. He's going to bring all nations to this valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, and he's going to deal with them and plead with him. We just went over all the pleading. Why?
God.
For Israel. Go ahead.
Whom they have scattered among the nations.
Uh-huh.
And parted my land.
Read.
And they have cast lots.
What else did they do to us?
And they have cast lots for my people.
Go ahead.
And given a boy for an harlot.
You think the Most High wanted that? Right. To pimp the men of Israel out to be whores? To give them over to these child molesters?
Right.
You think that's God? No, that's wicked as hell. That's them doing that. Go ahead.
And sold a girl for wine, that they might drink.
Read.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Yeah, the Africans. Go ahead.
And all the coasts of Palestine.
Go ahead.
Will ye render me a recompense?
You gonna pay me back?
Right. You owe me.
That's the question. No, that's the question to the nations. You understand? Are you gonna pay me back for what you did to my people Israel? You gonna give us back the land? All right, because he made it fair. He said, if the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he have robbed. You gonna do that? This is what he's saying to them. Go ahead.
And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily,
go ahead.
Will I return your recompense upon your own head?
It's too late. You can't pay it back. And if you even try, I'm going to swiftly be on your brain. Go ahead.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold.
Go ahead.
And have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
Right, Israel, man. You stole everything. You stole the land, you stole the people, you stole the history, you stole everything. They build their kingdom off of their gold. Off of our gold and our riches. Go ahead.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem.
Judah and Israel, go ahead.
Have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Yeah, all the nations, they did what? They sold us to the white man. The Africans and the Arabs. It gets specific here. But you see how I said, when you go through the precepts, it names all the nations. It don't leave none out. Go ahead.
That ye might remove them far from their borders.
Go ahead.
Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them.
Go ahead.
And will return your recompense upon your own head.
You're not understanding. In this one chapter, he sums up everything we just went through, all those scriptures. In one chapter, he tells you what's going to happen in the future and how he's going to gather us. That's that Isaiah 11. And why he's going to gather us.
Right.
Because these demons, they did what? Rape, rob, murder us, pillage us, and scattered us through the four corners of the earth. Go ahead.
And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah.
Yeah, you know what he said? We're going to get them, and then we're going to make you slaves. Go ahead.
And they shall sell them to the Sabians.
Yeah, we're gonna take your children and send it to the other children. Go ahead. I mean, send it to the other nations. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Noah sing.
Hey, turn it down.
Go ahead.
To a people far off. For the Lord has spoken it.
Go ahead.
Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles.
Go ahead.
Prepare war.
Prepare what?
Prepare war.
Prepare what?
Prepare war.
That's what we're talking about.
Right. Gird up.
That's what the Most High is saying. He's saying prepare war. He ain't saying kumbaya, my Lord. He's saying when you see me, you better run. Go ahead.
Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near.
Right.
Let them come up.
Read.
Beat your plowshares into swords.
Now we're understanding Isaiah 2. They weren't going to come easy. When it says they will come to the mountain of the Lord, what he's saying is that they're going to beat their swords into plowshares. Why? Because if not, they're going to be beat to a pulp.
Right.
Now we're getting Isaiah 2 in there. Watch, read.
And your prudent hooks into spears.
Go ahead.
Let the weak say, I am strong.
Go ahead.
Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen.
Go ahead.
And gather yourselves together round about.
Read.
Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord.
Go ahead.
Let the heathen be awake. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Go ahead.
For there will I sit to judge all the heathen.
I will do what?
Sit to judge all the heathen.
Y'all listening?
Con.
Well, now we know why he sent to judge them. Because what they did, from them ruling wickedly, from them doing to the children of Israel, right? Go ahead.
Round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe.
Go ahead.
Come, get ye down, for the press is full.
Read.
The fats overflow.
Read.
For their wickedness is great.
Yeah, the wickedness is great of these nations, man.
What you knock down the
yeah, the Most High is finna like chop everything down. Right? Go ahead.
Multitudes in the valley of decision.
Go ahead.
For the day of the Lord is near.
Read.
In the valley of decision.
Read.
The sun and the moon shall be darkened.
Right.
And the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Because, you know why? Because there's going to be so many chariots in the sky. Hold that. Let's pause. Go to 2nd Esdras. It goes right with this. 2nd Esdras 13:29. All right?
2nd Esdras chapter 13.
So he got all these nations in this valley. Right? He got these nations in Jehoshaphat, right? He's going to bring all the nations, right? Read this. Come on.
2nd Esdras chapter 13 and verse 29.
Go ahead.
Behold, the day come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the face of the earth.
Go ahead.
And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth.
Go ahead.
And one shall overtake to fight against another.
And Matthew 24, we get that. Okay, he's telling us what's going to happen. The last days is going to accumulate this final battle that Christ, Hamashiach, is coming back for. Okay, go ahead.
One city against another. One place against another.
Go ahead.
One people against another.
Right.
And one realm against another.
Read.
And the time shall be.
See, Joel didn't put that part in there. Joel 3 is just straight his vengeance. Matthew's 24, 2nd Esdras 13 is the accumulation to Christ showing up. Y'all see this? Go ahead.
Verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen when I shew thee before, and then shall my son be declared.
So now Joel 3 is coming into play. Christ is going to be declared. He's going to be seen. All nations, all the earth shall mourn, they shall see him, right? Go ahead.
Whom thou sawest as a man ascending.
Read.
And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle that they have won against another.
Now you're getting more specific. So this valley of Jehoshaphat, when he says he's going to bring them down, what's going to be happening is nations are going to be fighting each other, and Christ is going to appear. And they're going to do what? Read.
And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together.
Right.
As thou sawest them. Willing to come and to overcome him.
So they're going to come and try to overthrow Christ.
God.
This is what the Most High is doing. For who? Israel. This is your salvation. So-called Negroes, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Haitians, Dominicans. He's coming to save you. Y'all don't understand. This is your kingdom. They don't get it, man. You see how all those precepts, like, you got to void out half of the Bible. Half of the prophecies. To come back and be like, oh yeah, they're going to be with us in the kingdom. They are. They are going to be with us as servants and handmaids. And I didn't want to go over Isaiah 14 again. We beat that to a pulp. I didn't want to go over Isaiah 60 again. We always beat that to a pulp. You got that down. You understand? I didn't want to do that. I wanted to show you through the other precepts, man, what the Most High was going to do. Why they could not be sitting with us in joy. Right? Go ahead.
And to overcome him by fighting.
Go ahead.
But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion. And Zion shall come and shall be shewed to all men.
See, you're understanding, like, this is where Christ said, all nations are going to be gathered together, and he shall separate the sheep from the goat. Just put the Bible together. Everything agrees. It ain't saying one thing here and another thing there. It's saying all the same stuff. You just don't understand when he talks about nations or the other nations. You don't understand that. See, they get the New Testament. They don't understand when it says to circumcise to Jews and Gentiles. They don't understand that's Israel. That's these Israelites that were scattered amongst the nations. The Bible will literally just contradict all the way through then. One minute you're destroying everybody, blood everywhere, and the next minute you're what?
Saving them.
What the hell? That's confusion. No, the Bible's not confused. You confused. He's coming to save his people. There should be a prince and a governor that shall save his people, Israel. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 36. And Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men. Being prepared and builded. Like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands.
Now jump back to Joel. Let's finish it up.
Joel, chapter 3, verse 16. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people.
See? The Lord will be hope. He didn't say the Lord will be hope of the world. The Lord will be hope of this, of the other nations. He said his people. Go ahead.
And the strength of the children of Israel.
Go ahead.
So shall ye know that I am the Lord your power. Dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore.
Y'all understanding this? Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters. And a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness.
Like when it mentions them, it always something about desolate, no more. He's not playing. Go ahead.
For the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed. For the Lord dwelleth in Zion.
Man, Jesus is good. What?
So right there where it said, for I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed. So when we were delivered out of Egypt, didn't this happen when we were delivered out of Egypt and we were supposed to go into the land of the promised land? So is this
what?
Not a reenactment, but like it's supposed to happen again.
Yeah, it's supposed to happen again, but it's going to be greater and mightier. Right? They shall no longer be said that the children of Israel was brought out of the land of Egypt, but out of the land of the north. So this is going to be greater and mightier.
And finale, like
the final finale. That's it.
It's Netflix.
That's it's better than Netflix. This is it. This is it. Where it can't even be said. You have to go through all the scriptures again to show the great and the validity of what's going to happen. Yeah, but this is it. This is that last ride. And that's what they're forgetting, that when you read this whole chapter, this was the prophecy of the last ride. Why didn't it include the nations? Why was it him against the nations? Why is all these chapters against the nations?
Right.
Because it tells you why they were against the nations. You see that? So, all right, that's it on that. That's it. We're going to put that one on wax.
God.
Anytime got any, I ain't going over this. I'm sick and tired of going over this. They keep asking the same question and questions like, bro, click on that. You can go ahead and watch that. Because, you know, they just can't get it past their head because what Christianity has taught them. That's all it is. They're not considering it. They're not going through the Bible and even reading. They're not looking at things like the promises. A promise is made, it has to be kept.
no.
This is the patience and faith of the saints that we wait for. So, anybody had anything? Nothing? Nothing else on there?
No, somebody just said, Shalom, y'all been murking them, but I'm going to holler at y'all later about the All Nations thing, and then he said, shoot the number.
Right. All right, so, anybody got any questions there? Okay. All right, so we're going to say shalom to everybody online.
Shalom.
We'll see y'all Wednesday. All right. And I imagine we'll put you